Live.
We're live.
We're live. Wow.
I want to talk more theology, but we can't now that we're on stream.
I mean, you do have a holy man with your party, so I mean, maybe you can pick his brain about that. Welcome to the Weird West, everyone. So nice to be back for our penultimate episode. I love the word penultimate, meaning the second.
The best pen. Nope. Okay.
The best pen. Yes, the best pen episode, for sure.
Is there a fancy way to say, like, what's the opposite of ultimate in fancy tongue? Like, what's first in fancy tongue? Like premiere?
Yeah.
Pen premiere? Would that
Pinnacle.
work? For
No,
seconds?
because-
Ooh, Nicola's
The
good.
Acme.
No,
The
because
Apex.
if no,
The
I think
Apex episode.
I think what Sean is trying to get to is what's the episode before the first episode, and that defeats itself because it's the first episode
I want
for
Prequel,
a
maybe?
reason.
A prequel?
I want like Alpha and Omega. I want Bultimate and Ultimate.
You know what
And
it
then
is? It
penultimate is in the middle.
It is the prologue of episode 1.
Right.
Nah,
Well, with
that's not doing it
that-
for me. I'll think about it.
With that, I'm going to jump into some announcements here, and we're going to roll an intro, and then we will dive into the Weird West. First up, firstly, Becca, happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Becca!
Happy birthday.
Let's
Thanks
see
for
some-
spending your birthday playing
let's see
D&D
some
with us.
birthday-
Finally
Birthdays in
able to
chat.
vote. How does it feel?
It's really good. It's really good. I can't drink yet.
Only in BC. We could head to Alberta.
no!
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
Becca.
No.
Oh, no.
Why are we still here? We should go to Alberta tonight.
No.
No.
Becca,
Going
Come
out Alberta
visit.
tonight.
have you seen Turning Red?
The new Disney movie.
Pixar
Pixar one?
movie?
Me right now?
The
No,
Red Panda
so
one.
there is a character in Turning Red that I
Mhm.
saw, and I was like, I feel like that was Becca in middle school.
I can't wait. I am so
I'm-
excited to watch
I'm very
it.
excited.
Turning
what
Red, importantly, is based in Toronto.
Toronto.
Where I'm from.
Yeah.
Based in Toronto
Yes.
in 2002. So like
Whoa. I didn't know that.
Like
That's amazing.
Not me in middle
genuinely
school.
no yeah,
That's pretty
a little
close.
off, but like beanie. Did you have braces when you were younger?
Head and headgear.
Yeah, red hair, like
Yeah, I know
like
exactly
this
which- I've
kid
seen the
this
first
kid
couple
came
minutes.
on screen and I was like, I think that's Becca. Like really enthusiastic. It was wild. It was wild.
I love it. I'm
That's
moving forward with
great.
the
I love
announcements.
that.
But Becca, so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. As the world moves steadily forward, and we are consistently barraged with all sorts of crazy things that are happening on our planet, please consider donating to reputable organizations to help those fleeing from terror, war, and oppression. Please type !action in the chat to find some important links. A big thank you to our sponsors, Legendcraft, a nerdy woodworking company from Calgary. You can check them out if anything tickles your fancy. Enter the code Blackwater at checkout for a discount. We're also proud to be sponsored by Sirenscape because epic games require epic sound. We have two amazing partners, Legend Keeper and Kobold Press. We are currently in the midst of our Kobold Press partnership campaign, which I'm having so much fun playing Gully, the sweet little tree thing. They're a delight. So you can come check us out every Sunday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time over at twitch.tv/koboldpressed. Tim is DMing, Adam is playing, I am playing, Cody is playing, and our two dear friends, Brianna DeCoster and Gordy Lucius. It's a delightful time. Please come hang out with us every Sunday. It's an 8-week campaign with possible extension to 12 weeks if it's well attended. So please come hang out with us. It's a good time. Love as always to our dice goddess Keisha and our amazing artist Tiana Kovacevic. You can check them out at fairydragon_dice and Miss Marston on Instagram, miss._Marston. All of our official art for this campaign is done by Tiana. Both of their commissions are closed. I'm sorry. Our Discord is a fantastic place to !Discord to come hang out. But while we're streaming, hang out in here in Twitch chat because that's where all the cool kids are. A big thank you to those of you who subscribe to us. Don't forget to re-up your subscriptions. You get one free sub from Amazon Prime. So if you choose to give that to us, oh, thanks. That's so kind of you. We're also just really grateful to have you showing up to all of our shows. If you need to get caught up on anything that you've missed, it is all over on YouTube, usually released 2 to 3 days after the broadcast itself. Make sure you follow us on YouTube as well, because if you don't, why not? We have like so few followers on YouTube. I don't know why when we have such a big community here on Twitch.
I keep threatening them whenever they come. I'm like,
right, you're threatening
unfollow
them? Okay.
immediately.
Right. Oh, gotcha.
I just
Okay.
like to play dangerously.
Reverse psychology.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It's because
Hang
we're not
out.
saying smash that like button. And don't
Smash
forget to
that like,
subscribe.
ring that bell, smash that button. So programming for this week, we are back on Saturday with our main campaign, which is episode 88. Also joined by our dear friend Jeremy Cobb, who has been our accompanist, our guest for the Fire Elemental Plane. And actually tomorrow, holy bananas, I totally forgot tomorrow. Number 1 is our 2-year stream anniversary. You guys, we've been streaming for 2 years as of tomorrow, which is fucking wild. And I'm so stoked about it. So partially to celebrate, Tim and I will be heading over to hang out with our friends at A Filthy Lot. You can find them at twitch.tv/A Filthy Lot. And we're going to be on their show, A Filthy Talk, talking about all things Blackwater, all things D&D. It's going to be a great time hanging out with their creative head of creative stuff, Trevor, and their DM for their Ready to Roll campaign, Roz Young. So Tim and I are super, super excited. They have this like amazing set. So we're really stoked to go chat all things D&D. I will be posting a bunch of stuff from set on our Instagram. So please come follow us on there. And please come hang out with us at twitch.tv/A Filthy Lot. I'll be hosting it here on our channel as well. As of next week, we're also back on Sunday for our Margrave campaign. There is no DM roulette next week, but as I teased, I believe this was last Saturday. We have a charity one shot happening on March 30th. You will see promo stuff for this weekend. I am in the DM seat, and I'm going to be joined by 12 of the fiercest femmes that I know for an epic heist adventure that we are calling A Shot in the Dark. And we are raising funds for Girls Who Code in honor of Women's History Month. So I'm really, really stoked about this. These are some of like the most amazing femme players that I know from a whole bunch of our favorite channels. It's going to be a blast. I am in the midst of planning it right now. It's going to be a good time. So please come hang out with us. And you can donate when all of those links come up. Our goal is to raise $750. This is a charity that's really close to my heart because I love STEM and all of those wonderful things that allow girls access to things that they don't usually get access to. So with that, lastly, whether you are new with us tonight or you have been with us for ages, thank you so much for your support. We love you immensely, and you are so welcome at our table. Thank you so much for hanging out. We hope you feel really welcome here and have a good time with us. And roll the clip.
If we've got a clip, I'd like you to.
We're back. All right, everyone, let's get weird. Okay, so the last time on the Weird West, we found Spagg, Slender Marv, Hass, and Wyatt as they battled a horde of skeletons seemingly called forth from the graveyard after Dahlia gave Spagg an ominous warning in the lobby of the Ambrosia. As the party fought their way through this mass of bones with the aid of Wyatt's companion for the evening, Tulip, who brandished an impressive rifle herself, the group saw a man, beaten and bloody, burst his way out of the church and called down the thunder in the name of his god. After the calamity ceased, the man introduced himself as the Reverend Dr. Tam Clampton, who had woken up from a coma after being beaten by the Dupree twins 3 weeks before. Taking a moment to collect themselves, the party went to the sheriff's office. Bailiff Johnston stepped aside, but the party could not convince the previous sheriff, Jedediah Pal Wildblood, locked away on potentially facetious charges of treason, to come with them. They then decided to return back to the Ambrosia Inn to check if everyone was all right, and found that the proprietor, Madame Zanziva, had been too accosted and was in a state of shock. Her personal quarters had been ransacked, but with only one thing taken: a piece of rock that was said to be from the stars, a gift from her late husband. Zanziva identified her attackers as Dahlia and Mesa, who physically and mentally overpowered her before leaving her tied up and vanishing without a trace. The party then went upstairs and were given access to Dahlia's room. Walking inside, they saw the walls covered with writings and markings similar to that which they had found at the abandoned miners' camp, as Marv and Spagg heard the voices of the Shoth inside their heads once more. That is where we pick up. As you are carrying the jar, and you manage to recognize the language written on the walls of the room. The jar is thrashing about inside your bag, trying to break up and out. Spagg, you have had the burbling that has been bouncing around in your head is now up to a level where it's almost screaming. And all of a sudden, as you entered the room, the volume turned up and then it just stopped suddenly, where you heard, "Be at peace. You are exactly where you need to be. Become one with us." Marv, you've had the burbling increase in your mind, and you had heard the Shoth speak more than you had previously heard them before. "We have use for you, but that will be something we get to later." You both feel the presence of the Shoth more strongly in your minds than you have before, but they seem to have fallen silent for the moment as you all take in Dahlia's space. There are curtains that are covering the walls, but as you have been able to pull some of them aside and see this language written and carved into almost the entirety of the room behind these curtains. What would you like to do?
We good, fellers? Y'all doing all right?
Sorry, what?
Right. You said I could I know the language, but I can't translate it.
You recognize that it is language.
Okay.
You don't understand it, and you're able to comprehend that it is a language,
Okay.
but you can't seem to parse it out. You don't speak this language.
Okay.
Do I recognize it?
You can make me a history check, please.
That's a 15.
No, you do not.
Dang.
It it occurs to me that if my brain is mushy today. What's the name of the proprietor again?
Madame Zanziva.
If Zanziva's husband gifted her a rock when he was alive, maybe these gooey fellers have been here longer than we realized. I thought this was like a couple of weeks kind of thing, but this,
Also, Evandale, thank you so much for the raids. Thank you so much for the follows, folks. Come on in.
hello,
Hi,
welcome
Evandale. Thanks so
in.
much.
Are there any like specific repeating words, or is it all different?
You see clusters of what you would assume would be letters or word sounds. It is unlike any language that you've ever seen written. It is there seems to be groupings together of varying lengths. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for the gift subs, folks. Thank you, Smitey Smite. Much appreciated. Thank you so much, folks. And it doesn't seem to be any discernible pattern.
Okay.
It would be definitely unlike English for sure. And other words that you have, other languages that you have seen. It is nothing like anything like that. It is the same though, that as you saw up at the miners' camp.
Thing in my brain said that I was right where I needed to be. I would like to look up and down and really just take in the space. I want to take that as literally as possible. And I'd like to is there a loose floorboard directly under my feet? If I look around and move my head slightly, is there anything that appears like a fucking X, but then isn't just due to perspective?
Wonderful question. You can roll me a perception check, please.
What about an investigation check?
Yeah, absolutely. You roll whatever fucking check you want.
Can I call in my good friend Robert Langley to Da Vinci Code this?
Investigation. Here we go. Come on, big shoots. Just a 14. Oh, I'm feeling elevated, so you know I'm eating one of my teeth.
Absolutely, eat those teeth.
Just like as that shit just clears out my brain, you just hear crunch as his fucking pupils dial in, and that's gonna be a 16 to try to find some sort of pattern or clue directly where I'm standing.
Wonderful. As you do so, you look up and you see what can only almost be described as it is a crossing between two lines and circles around it. It looks like a bullseye directly above you, and you see one directly below you also. And there are a pattern of symbology, the same ones that are around the room that has pointed out, but they seem to be funneling into these 2 points that are directly above and below you.
I also check doubly just to check if there's like some sort of like Acme like anvil tied to a rope that
No.
is triggered to like swing into the okay.
No.
There's no Roadrunner shenanigans going on.
You see, I will say though, with a 16, you see some on the floor where you're standing, you see some, they look to be almost akin to scorch marks in the center of this circle that you are now standing in directly above and below. It is as if you could almost draw a line straight through you.
Well, I think there's something real funky going on here. I'm a man of science. I'm a disgraced professor. Can I riddle me this to like see if there's some sort of...
I would say with your knowledge of the occult and your knowledge of science, you can make me either a history check or an arcana check.
History or arcana.
Hey,
that's
Tulip.
I am a disgraced professor. That's right. I
Yeah,
don't
why?
forget.
She pokes her head kind of from outside the door where she's been waiting.
Only
You
5.
You don't.
Yeah.
You can't seem to put it together.
Pickle my biscuits. I'm cooked.
I will say though, as the kind and gracious DM that I have, you do know someone that does seem to know things about the occult. That would be Geraldine Capshaw.
That's right.
I remind you of these things because it's a once a month
Yeah,
campaign.
that was 2 months ago.
While this is going on,
there was just something happening with Wyatt and Tulip. Yeah, Wyatt, what's going on?
How long's Delilah been working here?
Dahlia?
Yeah, that's the one. Sorry, I'm terrible with names.
Also, hi, Rep RPG. Thank you so much for the raid,
Hello.
folks. Thanks for coming on in. Welcome to the West.
Yeah, Dahlia. How long she been working here for?
Well, she was here, I think, when I got here. No, that's not true. I've been here longer than she has. You know, Marcus, the bartender downstairs, he'd probably know more about her than...
But like longer than like a couple years at least?
No, about 6 months.
Oh, 6 months. Has her demeanor changed in the past month or so?
She's... I'm going to roll her an insight check to see if she remembers that. She's always kind of been... She's had a bit of that demeanor where she's kind of kept to herself. Right. She seemed to hang out with Mesa, and then when, she spends most of her time with Calloway. She doesn't have very many clients that she's with her most nights. And
that's been since she's been here?
That's about right, yeah. But honestly, if you're wanting more information about Dahlia, he knows her better. Talk to Marcus.
Yeah, I'll talk to Marcus.
Downstairs.
Sounds like a good idea.
I don't know. She always never felt right around her. We didn't have much to talk about. We come from very different backgrounds and
almost alien in nature.
I wouldn't say that. I don't know so much.
Okay. Well,
she just always kind of, there was like a hair on the back of my neck. I always stood up when I'm around her. I don't know.
So 6 months, you say, give or take.
That's right.
Okay. Thanks, Tulip.
Of course. I'll wait outside and then I can open Mesa's room after if you need.
Yeah, for sure.
She ducks back out of the room.
Hey, y'all, I think it's been going on for a while now. I thought this was like when the rock came down, but I don't think Dahlia came to this place and then changed. I think she was the way she was when she came here, and that was about 6 months ago.
Sorry, Marv, you were saying something.
Hass, mind giving me the jar for a moment?
I'm really hesitant because I know it's moving quickly, but maybe we shouldn't take it out in here. It seems quite excited. I don't know what it'll do.
I was hoping to talk to it a little bit.
Oh yeah, do that.
We sure we're not coming around on the boiling it thing? Because I'm still pretty pro boiling it. You know.
It's still in the little jar, in the big jar. Yeah.
It is a little
Yeah,
jar
yeah.
in the
It's-
big
yeah.
jar.
I would
Okay.
lean over and I'd like do a quick like bless you and give him guidance.
Tam, as you lean closer towards Marv, who is now holding the jar, it is as if what is inside, that silvery blue liquid, almost recoils at your presence. It slams itself backward on the inside of the jar.
I would lean even closer to it.
It makes itself as thin as possible, trying to move itself away from you.
You can't hide from the eyes of the Lord. All will be judged.
It seems the
Even the
demon
likes of
is.
you.
It seems this wet demon is scared of the priest.
I think it might rather boil at this point.
Maybe.
As soon as Tam moves back, the jar is going nuts. It is like frantically moving around. And Haas, it's quite funny as you pass it over to Marv, it seems to linger on the side where you are
Aww.
before moving and resettling down in the bottom of the jar as Marv takes it in his hands.
Hey Marv, before I ask it any questions, just like maybe just walk it around the room a little. It's quite excited to be here. Maybe there's one place in the room, I don't know, between the bullseyes that it maybe wants to linger.
I think that's a fine theory. If you want to step aside.
Yeah,
I
step
have-
anywhere you want.
I have reservations in doing anything this thing wants. I just want to put that out there.
As you're saying that, like Marv is walking towards where Spagg was with the jar, and he puts it down just outside of that spot.
It
So it's
leans
sitting,
in
like,
towards that where that
in
spot
view
is.
of okay. And I want to put it down on the floor,
Mhm.
and I want to lean my hands kind of as firmly as I can, given that this is a glass jar, on it, and kind of get down on my haunches and put my face real close to it. And
Before you do that, I'm curious if our lovely priest stands in the bullseye, if it'll still go towards the bullseye, or if it would recoil from the priest. What's stronger?
I don't mind being the subject of an experiment. We go over and stand between the bullseyes.
As you step between the bullseye, the two places on the floor and the ceiling, Tam, you feel almost every hair on your body stand up on
I
end.
do not like this one bit.
It is as if there is an electric current running through you. It is unpleasant.
I was gonna say if it's electric current, maybe I do like it. But
It's
you
not
said
the
I
good
don't, so I
electricity.
don't. It's not good.
It's
electricity.
not like divine electricity. It is uncomfortable.
Stinky electricity.
Like Edison's electricity.
That
I do not
fraud.
like this, not one bit. I guess I'd step out of it then. If it's
The feeling immediately goes away as you step out of it.
What did the goo do?
Do you push the goo into, and so Marv is standing holding the goo like in the jar between the two poles.
yeah, it's like on the floor. If the bullseye is here, I want the jar like right next to it, so it's
Okay.
as close as it can be without like touching
Yeah.
the circle or anything like that.
Okay.
Then I'll put my hands very
And-
firmly on the lid and get down on my haunches so that I can get my face close to it while they're.
Correct me if
I'm
I'm
just
wrong
staring
here,
while
Becca,
Tam comes in.
but Haas was trying to observe the interaction when Tam stepped into the circle.
Yes.
Whether or not it was more afraid of Tam than it was excited about the circle.
Yeah, I
It
will say
seems-
this is definitely like a Becca question. And less of a
It
Haas
seems
question.
more excited about the circle than it is to be scared of
Oh.
Tam.
Interesting.
feels emboldened by whatever is here.
So as you do
Okay,
that,
go ahead, Marv.
Marv.
Thank you for waiting. The
as you
scientific
do
process.
that, you
All good.
feel It is as if the burbling subsides for a moment and a calm comes over your body. Are you standing in the bullseye right now?
Nope.
Okay.
It's me, jar, bullseye.
The jar, with your hands on it, scoots itself back an inch.
Towards the bullseye?
Yes.
Okay.
It hits the jar so hard that it moves the jar back, taking your hands with it.
Then I'm going to pick it up and like in a quick motion, I'm going to pick it up and kind of twirl around and slam it down on the floor on the other side. So now I am interposed between it and the circle. And I put my face right back down to the jar. Like, and you can hear Marv's teeth grinding. You can see the muscles in his jaw just flexing, and his eyes are narrowing at this blob of unknown substance.
Roll me a charisma saving throw.
Okay.
Oh no.
It's 12. I don't think I have any plus on that. So it'll be a 13 total.
You hear the voice come through your mind. You are so keen to stay just on the edges of our reach. We told you we have use for you.
And I'll be saying this quite out loud. You guys can all hear me. So what exactly is this use you seem to have for me?
You currently are very strong. Your will is strong. There will be time when your will falters. And that is where we will be, ready and waiting for you.
Spagg does his best not to convey his jealousy that they don't want him, that they don't have use for him, or think that he's strong and cool.
I will say Tam has a passive perception of 18. Does Tam notice this?
I think my passive deception is higher than that.
Yeah, it also, I think it would be insight, not perception.
I think my passive insight is the same.
Oh, wow.
Then, yeah, if his passive deception.
Let me check that decep. I'm pretty fucking tight at decep. What is it?
10 plus whatever modifier.
I got you beat. I got you beat.
Nice.
No, I don't have. I don't have proficiency in deception. I'm just a natural. So yeah, you do see.
You would notice.
Just like a little.
You would notice that you just the feelings of Tam as a man.
The sin of envy a mile away.
I was going to say, as someone who has heard about envy and jealousy from his parishioners so often, this would be something you'd be well familiar with.
Now,
I continue. I'm still talking to the thing in the jar there. I have seen many creatures. I have killed many creatures. You, in this jar in my head, what exactly are you?
What you see in the jar in front of you is the essence of us. However, we are so much more than a simple liquid in front of you. We are beyond your comprehension. We are the Shoth.
that's a non-answer if ever I heard one.
This is in his head.
This
You
is
can't
in my
hear this.
head.
Oh, I thought you were saying you
haven't
were
heard
relaying everything out loud.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm having a
okay.
conversation with it. I can hear it. You
Oh,
can hear
okay.
me.
Sorry, I thought you were being like, I was under
Then
the
I'm not
understanding that you were.
jealous.
Yeah, I thought you were relaying everything out loud.
I'm feeling very, very confident in sex.
Well, I would have still said, you have a use for me, so you would have probably
Fuck,
put
I'm
that
so
together.
jealous.
Beyond us. And Marv's getting really like flustered at this point, not being able to see and grasp this. He's used to being able to see and understand a prey and study them and figure out what they're about and how to track them and how to kill them. And he is immensely frustrated right now, to the point where you see him, he stands up, his hands come off the jar. So it's just on the floor now. I'm not holding it. And you see him kind of take a step back, like he's squaring up to kick this jar.
Hey, Marv.
I'm going to go try to grab the jar. I've already noticed.
As Wyatt says something and you start moving, he kind of pivots his whole body on that foot that's back that was braced to kick. And he just he steps forward, which I think will take him through the circle. He's not really mindful of that right now. He just turns and takes 2 long paces, because he's a tall man, in that general direction back to the jar, or away from the jar. His back is to the jar, is what I mean.
Haz, you can pick up the jar if you like.
I'm going to pick up the jar and put it right back in.
I don't mean any offense, y'all, but I'm just going to quit just for your edification, and hopefully you can, for mine, but nice and bony. Lots of bones up in here. I just don't know if this room maybe changed things. I don't know how it works. Okay, I hear Hass's neck
one
go.
second. Whoa! Oh no! Yeah, fucking come on, man.
Good.
Marv rolls his shoulder.
Go, good. I just, I don't know how this works.
So every time he takes a step, you can hear it kind of creaking.
Cool.
Do you look about the rest of the room?
100%.
Okay. So in the rest of the room, you don't find much. This is very much a room that has set up for its purpose to entertain clients.
Is there sex stuff?
Funnily enough, no. Despite potential assumptions about Dahlia's appearance, with that kind of darker nature, pale skin against dark black hair, and the dark dress and darker, heavier makeup.
It's disappointing.
Nothing untoward that would be untoward potentially for the era. Or if it is, you certainly don't see it on the surface.
If she entertains clients in here, is there a really sick joke book? Just if there's not sex stuff.
There is a trunk at the end of the bed and an armoire in the corner.
And that's where the jokes are?
Don't know. You're going to have to open it.
I'll fucking open that armoire.
Okay.
I'll slap that armoire up.
In the armoire, you find rows of beautiful dresses, very high quality, all in darker fabrics, maroons, dark navy blue tones, a lot of black. However, upon closer inspection, I will say that there are acid burns. It looks like the fabric has been eaten away on a majority of these dresses at the bottom lower hems.
Does it look like from the inside?
You would see it's a mixture of both. Some of the fabric is burnt from, the petticoats are burnt from the inside, as well as the dresses from the outer side are burnt as well. Do you look in the trunk at the end of the bed?
Yeah.
Okay. So at the truck at the end of the bed, you find a couple tintype photos of Dahlia, as you assume, as a younger girl with her family. She looks the same, that kind of long dark hair, quite pale skin, but there is a genuine smile on her face. There is a lightness in her eyes and in her demeanor where she is with her family that you didn't see when you sat across from her at the table, Spagg.
I think I'm gonna pop down, have a quick word with Marcus, if anyone wants to join me.
Real quick, wasn't there another person who worked here who was also of the Shoth?
Yeah, Tulip.
Should we maybe knock on Tulip's door, but we also have the keys, so we don't have to knock?
Tulip can let you into Mesa's room, but
Mesa, that's right.
Yeah.
Let's bust that puppy open. See if.
Wait, didn't Tulip give me the keys?
I know she's holding on to them, but she's standing right outside the door. Yeah, the keys are Zenziva's.
I thought Tulip was with Zenziva, but she's with us.
Yeah, she's outside the door.
So we'd love to see about that Mesa.
Can we get into Mesa's room?
Absolutely.
One thing real quick, I'd love to lick the bottom of the floor target just to see what happens.
It's like a 9-volt battery.
Just want to take a really quick lick, just right on
Okay.
the center.
Click, click.
Just like one,
Spagg.
like as we're leaving, like one thing, I get down on my hands and knees and just like,
Roll me a charisma
Okay.
saving throw, please.
Just to save face.
just to see. Saves. Okay, we got this. We got this. Big money, big shooter. 27.
Okay. Oh gosh, my computer is spazzing out here. One second.
Cass sees Spagg doing this, and she had never found him attractive before. But this had this weird, like, huh.
This does it for you. He doesn't pick up on that.
That's
His
fair.
insight is a passive.
She's not
7.
sold yet, but she doesn't never even consider it
Yeah.
before.
Dr. Tam Clampton notices.
So Spagg,
So does Marv.
as you step there and you lick it,
Yeah. Very
You-
fluid based.
you hear the voice in your mind come through. Spagg, Edison, Meeble. Your mind is unlike any other we have encountered here. Your charm emanates with no sense of guidance behind it. We have seen the way you outrun your past and the power you could wield just beyond your fingertips. Where do you draw your power from?
Okay, I'm getting something here. They're very complimentary. They say I'm very charming, so they're quite perceptive. They want to know where I get my power from, which I like to think of as just sort of good old-fashioned charm. Just a life fully lived. They're wondering what I'm running from. Well, that's a story for another day. Sorry, I forgot the question. I was relaying it to my friends.
Where do you draw your power from?
Oh, right. It's a good question. Marv, did they get real deep on you?
Not so much.
Oh, I guess I'm
Can I-
special.
Can I just say before we go into Mace's room? No, I know we're gonna deal with this floor licking thing, but
Yeah, you want to lick this floor, dude?
I do not.
Doesn't sound good.
But before we go into Mace's room, I think maybe Dr. Tam Clampton should go in first. One, the Jargoo seemed to be a little bit afraid, and two, last time Spagg Marv, you popped into this room. Spagg got a little wall-eyed, and Marv tried to kick the jar, and so I'm thinking maybe y'all hang back a little.
You're the one making this weird.
Oh, you've continued licking the floor. I see.
Yeah, that's how we have the connection. It's
Mhm.
called a parlay. I get my
Yes.
power from my reckless confidence.
It is a genuine question. Where do you draw your power from?
Reckless confidence and old family connections. Where do you get your power from? Never had anyone talking to my mind who existed outside of it before.
Imagine a well, deeper than consciousness and life itself. Imagine power beyond the confines of this body you use. We can grant you this. You may even keep your bones, if that is what you wish.
Is this a
There will
physical
be-
well? Oh, sorry, shit, my bad.
There will be no need to run anymore, Spagg.
Is this a physical well that I could visit?
No.
Well, shit, then, look, I may be a charming old bastard, but I lack imagination. If we want to do this thing and I get to keep my bones,
Ooh, what thing? What is
don't shush, I'm talking here. If I get to keep my bones, you gotta give me a time and place. Cause look, I love me some power.
Stand within the circle and
Uh-huh.
open the jar.
I will consider that. I'm gonna stand up, move away from it. I'm gonna say the jar's in the backpack.
Are you putting it back in?
Well, it's already in the backpack.
Yes,
Hassasssa
it is.
said
Yes.
that. I write down on a piece of paper, jar out of earshot, please.
Okay.
And I don't know, because I'm not going to touch it.
I'm going to go have a conversation with Marcus. I say, like, Wyatt says with, like, almost too performative. I'm going to go talk to Marcus like I said I was going to do before. That bag looks mighty heavy there, Hass. You want me to carry it for a little while? Or do you want to come with me to talk to Marcus?
I'll come with you. I could use a drink.
Cool. And then maybe, yeah. I realize...
You take the bag
No.
and you leave the room?
Wyatt gestures to get the piece of paper that
Oh.
and I write down, shit, this plan means that Hass and I won't hear what's going on. Question mark?
Let's all go. I could use a drink too. We'll all go talk to Marcus, and then we'll figure out what to do next.
Yeah, I think that's a good step before we go into the next room where bad shit could happen as well.
Mm-hmm. We should all debrief with a drink.
Wait.
Do you? Okay.
Give me the fucking bag and I'm gonna take it. Give me one second. And I'm just gonna. Is there a plant?
Yeah.
Is there a plant pot at the end of the fucking hall? Can I put this in one of them big plant pots that people hide in sometimes? Just real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me
There's
just
a
put it in a
beautiful
fucking plant pot. Look,
decorative vase.
I don't want
the
you to
end of the
listen.
hall.
I shout at the jar.
The jar does
The
absolutely
earmuffs.
nothing.
Fucking, I put it in the thing, still within eyesight,
Okay.
but I moved to the other end of the hall, outside of the room.
Wyatt has got his eye and his hand on his gun and his eye trained on the vase, just like fucking ready.
Okay.
Look, here's what we know. I'll convey the thing. The thing says, if we want power beyond our imagining, in a well beyond consciousness as deep as the end of time, we unleash the jar on the circle. That's what I know. It's got an offer and saying we can keep our bones now, which means it's willing to cut a deal. The creature knows compromise.
Yeah, no, but I think it's maybe negotiated from a kind of a back foot. It knows what we're coming for it, maybe.
I think this is good
this
for us.
compromise just for you or for all of us?
And
Unclear, but
also,
I'm not going to take it. But, you know, we're learning.
I want to paint a picture in people's heads. My image is that jar opens, and that thing goes straight in your mouth and straight down, like up or down, goes somewhere and takes over. Like,
Absolutely. We'll get in your teeth.
yeah, I think it's gonna get in there and it's gonna change things. Again, I stand by my earlier assessment that perhaps the good Reverend here should be the first into the next room.
I agree. Do we want to do that now, or do we actually want to talk to the bartender? I say we see about Mesa.
I say, yeah, let's look at this room. We've sorted out, talking to each other without the jar listening in.
All right, great. Let's bring the jar back in. Oh,
I think if we learn nothing from the rooms, we try to convince Geraldine to come back with us here.
agreed.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
So do you go over to Mesa's room?
We'll grab the jar first.
Okay.
We'll let Hass grab the jar first.
Thank you.
And then we would love to have Tulip open Mesa's room for us.
She does so. She takes you down the hall. It's about 4 or 5 rooms away. And she unlocks Mesa's door for you, again, standing outside. And as what order do you walk in the room?
Reverend.
Go
Wait
first, kind
1 second.
First.
Before we go in, having learned from last time, my man. How many for the duration? Okay. All right, 5th level. I'm gonna say, Marv, you want to come in on this one?
Sure.
Okay, then you're going to want to take a big whiff of this. And he is going to pull out a large seashell and just fucking sprinkle it with like what look like mineral salts and maybe dried animal leavings. And just fucking like, it's going to close the seashell. like light a little fire, close the shell, and he's like, "You ready? You ready? Okay, breathe out. 3, 2, 1." And he's going to cast Intellect Fortress on.
Ooh.
Oh, I can get one other person. And he shoves it at Hass as he remembers he's got one more. And for the next hour, we all have advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws, and resistance to psychic damage.
That's Marv and you.
Correct.
I will say that was somewhat a waste on Hass.
Why?
Because I have -1 in all of those.
Well, now you have advantage. If
No,
anyone
honestly,
hits somebody-
advantage mathematically speaking is like a +5. So that's
Good to go.
That's pretty
So
good.
so the Reverend walks into Mesa's room first. Who is behind?
I'll go behind.
Marv
Okay.
and Spagg, do y'all feel comfortable going into this new room just in case it's like a new trigger of some sort?
I'm feeling surly.
Okay,
All
let's
due
do
respect,
it.
Wyatt.
You know how some
I'm in
drugs
this.
like are mind opening? This is the opposite. It really makes you feel like you know what the world is and that no ideas are good.
I believe that's cocaine.
I don't know.
That's the drug.
I'll take.
Nope, that doesn't sound right.
It's
It's working.
I'll take up the rear then.
All right.
I'll
So
watch
you
everybody's
enter
back.
into Mesa's room. It is decorated, but unimpressive. It looks unlived in, except for a nice looking bed that looks very comfortable and plush. There are some art pieces of landscapes on the wall. It's really quite unimpressive.
Dahlia's room also seem unlived in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There is in this room a chest at the end of the bed, and that looks like the only personal effect in this room.
I'm getting.
Slap it open.
There's no writing on the walls in this room or behind
None.
it.
No.
I'm getting a kind of haunting image of Dahlia and Mesa just kind of standing when everyone's asleep, just kind of standing and waiting for the night to be done. I don't think these folks have been sleeping much.
I don't think these folks have been folks for a long time.
Yeah, no.
The chest is
you ain't
locked.
wrong. If everyone's okay with a loud noise, I can deal with that lock.
Yeah, absolutely. I scoot back and out of
Alright.
the room.
Everyone cover up your ears. I'm going to shoot the lock off.
Okay, you can roll me an attack roll, please.
Tulip, that was me. Don't worry about it.
Wyatt, what the?
I was hoping that's how you cast knock.
No. I'm just
Good.
casting gun. That is a shit. I have fucking a lot of bonuses to hit. That is a flirty 20 with a natural 8.
Wonderful. And that is enough as you watch the bullet pierce or hit the lock in the right way that it just it blows the hook straight off the bottom part of the lock.
Also, Tam, this would be the first time you see this where you would like see Wyatt's arm move and you'd hear the gunshot and the lock would break, but like barely see the gun come out and go back in. It's just like a
Amazing.
All right, let's open this this thing up. Sorry, Tulip. Again, just pesky lock, you know.
Who opens the chest?
I don't mind.
Okay, Dr. Clampton, you can roll me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh dear.
There
You
she
did not
is.
check it.
Bit of Spagg's confidence is rubbing off on me. Ooh, that's only a 10 for the doctor.
You feel a small prick in your hand.
Ouch. Fingers
Doc.
acting up again.
Reverend, you okay?
I don't know.
You see a small needle has extended, but that managed to prick your hand, but the chest is now unlocked.
Oh dear. I would try to suck it out. Do I taste any poison?
It tastes bitter.
How are your
Make a
bones? How are your
medicine
bones
check?
feeling?
Can I take a meditate?
You can, yes.
That's only a 12.
Yeah, it tastes super fucking bitter.
Ah, it's disgusting.
And can I see the needle?
Yeah, it is just extended. It has just poked itself out a little bit, and where the hand, where you would open, it just kind of like
He's just
right
got
into
his
his palm.
fingers on his neck, like just like taking his pulse.
Your
Does
pulse
Marv
seems
have
fine.
any sort of like small tin in his backpack?
Marv?
Do you have any sort of like small tin in your backpack, maybe?
I mean, there
Probably.
would there would probably be some empty cans of some sort from time on the road down in the bottom.
Wyatt would
I'm
have
gonna try to like knock the needle off without pricking myself with it and to collect it into one of the
Yeah,
cans.
you can easily do so, and it falls into the container.
Cool.
It does not look like there's anything on it. It is probably about a sewing needle, about that long.
My concern is, what if that was soaked in the jar goo? How you feel? Your old bones still creaking there, Reverend?
You can roll a medicine check against yourself if you want. Oh, let's say you can roll it at advantage because it's...
Only do one better. That's an 27.
You feel quite fine. Currently, your heart rate is normal. Your breathing is
I feel
normal.
fine. All my vitals seem normal.
It's not a very good trap then. That makes me concerned, but we deal with it when we deal with it, you know?
Strange. Is there any liquid left in the needle?
No.
Well, it's all inside of me now, so... Should I die or pass out?
You know what? Maybe we don't need to worry. Maybe it's like a special liquid that hurts people that don't have bones, and Mesa was just being protective against Dahlia. Maybe they kind of have a bad working relationship, and this was like set up for that.
Do you open the chest?
Probable. Yeah, dig in there.
Okay. So inside the chest,
Open
as
it
you
mouth
open it up, you see the same writing that was over the inside of Dahlia's room. That is all on the inside of this chest. This looks to be, rather than more ornately carved like it was in Dahlia's room, this looks like it has been scrawled there hastily, quickly, but it is on the inside of this chest. And in the middle of the bottom of this chest, there are simply two things. There are two small rocks that are bound between silver on a leather cord and a key. That's it.
Do I recognize the words?
As much as you recognize them, that you have seen them in the previous room before.
Got it. Anyone know anything about rocks? Hoss, you know
No.
rocks and sticks and stuff?
Do you pick them up?
Yes, I touch
Okay.
them.
So whereas you're expecting to feel the weight of a rock of the equivalent size, they feel lighter than they should be. In the lower light of the room, it is almost as if the rocks look as if you took mercury and made it solid. They're not perfectly spherical, but they're close. You see flecks of darker black amongst the silvers and the gray, and for a second, your vision gets lost in it. Spagg, as you're holding them, I'll have you make me a perception check, please.
It's a natural 1, so a -2.
Okay.
Jesus.
Yep.
Are they squeezable? Are they?
No, they're not malleable.
But they're real light.
They're very light.
Maybe we should take these down to Madame Zenziva and see if they're the same type of rock stolen from her.
That's not a bad idea.
And
Sure.
there is a key inside as well.
Look like a door key.
Yes, it looks like it could fit a door.
Cool. Keep that in mind. Let's go talk to Marvin the bartender. Marv at the Barv.
Marcus.
That would
That's
be
the one.
Marcus. Marv is right here.
Marcus at the Barcus.
So you leave the room and Tulip locks up behind you.
Hey, Tulip, you got any like paint or anything?
Paint?
Yeah, I think, I don't think, good folk of this town should be seeing shit like that. So maybe you can get someone to paint over it. I don't know.
Well, if it is very clear that Dahlia and Mesa will not be welcome back here, so we will be taking their rooms down. And Zenziva and Irene can decide what she wants to do with them.
They are almost certainly monsters with no bones. So,
Gosh.
yeah.
Are you going after them?
Well, yeah, it looks like. We'll go
I would advise against licking the floor.
Yeah, don't
Pro
lick the
tip.
floor.
Speaking of licking the floor, before we go downstairs, I would like to just test a quick theory, because he's still holding his fingers on his pulse. If you will indulge me, I'd like to go back to the bullseye and stand on the bullseye.
Okay.
See if anything happens now that I've been injected with some kind of mystery liquid.
Hey,
Roll.
Reverend, you good if I shoot you if things get squirrely?
Absolutely. Put
Okay.
me in my creator's hands.
I am standing there, hand on gun, ready to fucking offload.
You can
As
roll
you-
me a medicine check yet at advantage because it's yourself.
As you say that, Wyatt, I'm just gonna Marvel kind of look over at you and say, "Hold that thought for a moment. I may have need of your skills."
I'm gonna shoot anyone I need to. You need me to shoot you? You say the word.
Let's see where this goes first, and then
Okay.
I rolled a 1 and a 3. So, even with my +8, that's only 11.
I mean, it is your body. So I will say the
do
DC
know
was
my
quite
body.
low.
Oh, that's good.
You feel your heart rate increase.
Oh shit. There might be some of that goo inside of me.
It's not by much. And it could also be based on your nervousness about potentially being injected with something that you don't know. But your heart rate is
Sort of
elevated.
walking between them.
It just feels like that would be the play.
Your bones feeling any softer, Reverend?
Gotta crack my knuckles. Do they?
There is
sound any
also
softer?
apologies. I missed my note. There is also a small book in the chest as well.
Oh yeah, flippy. Give me the goods.
Okay.
I love
my
that the person
apologies.
who is most affected by the fucking Shoth is the person looking at all the Shoth shit.
Curious. I love it. So
shit.
as you open the book, the journal seems to oscillate between the writing that you see on the inside of the chest and the one in Dahlia's room, as well as regular language. It starts off in English, but then begins to devolve almost into ramblings and then fully into the script that is written hastily on the inside of the box. There are some moments of seem to be moments of lucidity, however, in the later pages. The earlier pages, it talks about a pressure to make Dahlia happy, talks about a pressure to make Jetson happy, wanting to do well and to fit in. The later pages speak of a feeling of slipping in and out, that they're trying to take space from Dahlia, but she won't let it happen. Feeling trapped by Jetson and his needs. It then completely devolves into scribblings and drawings. One drawing that catches your attention the most depicts a rift in what you're not sure, but an enormous boat-like vessel broaching the rift behind it. What might be metal plates are dripping with something, and they're depicted surrounded by energy. The center of the ship seems to be this massive orb that has a eye-like quality to it, but not any eye you've ever seen. It is supported by two vaguely humanoid-esque large creatures that remind you of the creatures you fought up at the mining pit. The words in common in the later, or in English, in the later part of this journal say, "One with the Shoth," and they are written so hard into the paper that they almost cut through, scratched over and over and over again in pencil and pen.
Is there any mention in the earlier parts of any funky rocks or anything like that?
No.
Hey, I just had a thought. Hey, Tulip.
Yeah, what?
This might be a bit of a hard question to answer because it's very specific and you might not remember. Was there ever a time where Mesa took Jetson into Dahlia's room?
Never think about that. I mean, group rates are higher. So if that did happen, I mean, it might have. I'm not privy.
Like books? Would there be like?
Yeah, Marcus would have
Okay,
access to the
Marcus
ledgers
is the man to
downstairs.
talk to. Because my thinking is maybe Dahlia's room is where like the transformation happens. maybe you get taken in there, you get turned.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, I was thinking out loud.
A lot of religious folk trying to convert people these days. I would turn people to Christ in that room any day.
I think
You would make a deception check at that.
I think we can trust Tulip with the truth, given her assistance in the matter.
Well, let's see if a 17 does it first.
She believes you.
Love that. Let's talk to the bartender. I don't want to dig into this right now.
Wait, no, Marv. You said you want to do something. Can we run it? Can we run by the group first? Because you said I might need to shoot you, so that concerns me.
I hope it doesn't come to that. I do value my life.
Well,
But I've been thinking about this situation, and I apologize to y'all for my frustrations earlier. You see, I'm used to being able to find what it is that I'm looking for.
that's fair.
And this thing is rather elusive. And I've been trying to think of a way that maybe I can use this connection to our advantage. Use this communication thread to backtrack, if you will. But I need a little bit of quiet and a little bit of time. And I'd like to go back into the other room. Now, that said, things are strange. I think that's a fair statement. And I don't want to be boneless. I do not want to become one with this Shoth. They seem to have a use for me, and I have no intention of letting them use me like some tool. So if something starts happening, I would prefer that a bullet go into my head.
All right. Why don't we talk to Marcus first, and then we can see where that leads.
All right. If you think that's best.
Yeah, if
I'm
you're risking a
happy
bullet
to-
in your head, I reckon a drink first.
Yeah, might as well get a bit of whiskey in you
Never
first.
die sober.
That's
As
true.
my
You know,
grandfather
Spagg, we've
famously
traveled
said.
a little bit, and that's probably one of the wisest things that you've ever said.
There's his dying words. He stood by it.
Did
So you head down. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
it would just be the conversation they would have as he goes down
You
the stairs.
head downstairs and you see the very, very, very handsome bartender that you had seen the previous evening that Tulip had gone to speak to Wyatt and the waitress had gone to get your drinks from. Marcus, the bartender, stands behind the bar still. He looks quite pensive. He looks to be like cleaning because he can't do anything else at the moment. People are tending to Zanziva, and he is cleaning up the bar after the incursion.
Marcus, nice to meet you. I put my hand out for a handshake.
He shakes it as a firm handshake.
And I give back maybe too firm a handshake, just as I'm like an exploratory handshake, as I'm just like feeling his knuckles.
You hear a little crack in his hand. Yeah.
Cool. Seems you're on the level, which is good.
Why? What, Mr. Cassidy? What
Wyatt's
can I do
fine.
for you?
We got a couple questions.
Happy to help. How can I help you?
First thing, how long have Dahlia and Mesa been here?
Dahlia's been here about 6 months, and Mesa's been here a time longer than that, probably year or two, maybe.
They arrived separately. Good to know.
They did, yes.
Did you ever notice a demeanor change in either of them? Maybe Mesa would be more noticeable.
Now that you mention it, Mesa did get more aloof, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no,
Probably about 5 months ago.
5 months ago.
Asked for about space for themselves. Wanted to start working on something, so I gave them some space outside.
Okay. Oh,
Like a shed?
Yeah, after this conversation, can you show us that space?
I don't have the key for it. I gave it.
I think we might.
It's the shed out back. I can take you out there.
Oh, fantastic. Do you might need to look at the books to see if you can recall, but you seem like the sort of person that's kind of off the top of the dome. Was there ever a time that the Dupree boys were taken into Dahlia's room together or separately? But was there ever a time that Jetson ended up in Dahlia's room? Because I know that Jetson favored Mesa, but was there ever kind of a crossover there?
Plenty of times, I'm sure.
About 5 months ago.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's been happening regularly since Dahlia arrived. So that
Right.
they've been in the room with her. Mesa's gone over a couple times, and they've
With-
paid the rates for it.
With Jetson.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's about right.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, that gives us a bit of a timeline now. Marcus, you've been great help. Anyone got any questions? I feel like
You worried about some with, I mean, I know Dahlia and Mesa, what they did to Zanziva. Is there more going on?
Oh yeah, lots. It's probably in that shed. You want to take us out there?
Yeah, all right.
You're muted, Haas. I see your mouth moving, but no words.
Oh no.
Thinking out loud.
I do that sometimes when I'm thinking. But
As he's
I'm not
as he's
doing
moving
that.
around as he's moving around to start taking you outside, he goes, come to think of it, Wyatt, there might be something to that, what you're saying. A couple months back, I brought food up to Dahlia's room for Calloway and Jetson, and there was a scroll of something laid out on their bed. They had their clothes on. He played full rates to show her looked like plans for something. I don't know what it was.
Did it look like kind of like a boat?
No, not that I can recall. I'm gonna have him roll a check here. It looked like a passageway of some kind. There seemed to be different areas on this map or plans of something.
Ah, shit. Y'all think they've been making tunnels under here? We should check out that shed. I'm just saying.
What were you gonna say, Haas?
Before we go out, we should check the rocks with Madame Zanziva.
Yeah. Thank you for keeping us honest.
What rocks?
These rocks.
Hey, you ever seen that rock that Zanziva's husband gave her?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And look anything like this?
Yeah, pretty similar. Actually,
Yes.
Mesa wears those ones most of the time. I think Jetson gave it to them.
Like earrings.
No, like around the neck on the cord.
Oh, I see. Don't lick the rocks, but I mean, lick the rock if you feel like it's necessary.
Like licking the rock has really illuminated things in the past.
Are you licking the rock?
I'm gonna lick this rock.
Okay, you can roll me a
Scientifically sound for
perception check
geologists.
at advantage, please.
Oh shit! Okay.
I may not be able to see too good, but my taste buds are shot to shit.
Yeah.
Chewing your teeth.
I feel like you have no sense of smell.
Oh,
You're pretty
that's so
blind.
perfectly cocked between a 14 and a 20. I gotta roll it again. Fuck. Well, that's a 10.
Total?
Yeah, 13 minus 3.
Right. Okay.
It
As
was
you
an advantage, wasn't it?
Yeah, it almost was a 14 or a 20,
Oh, I
but
see,
it was
I see.
cocked between both of them, so I had
Right.
to roll it again, and that became an 8.
Do you
okay,
want to crack a
you're,
drug tooth?
I mean, you're very close
Not
to
for
them,
this.
so the DC wasn't very high. It's very, very faint, but you hear a slight hum. It sounds like it's very low and almost as if you fell asleep on a train or you fell asleep outside with the wind blowing. It's like a very low frequency hum. And as you get that close to it, you feel the rock is vibrating ever so slightly. And it is, while it is a hunk of like solid inorganic material, there is a life to it of some kind. You can feel it.
Huh. I convey that.
Marcus, one last question.
Of course.
When did Madame Zanziva's husband leave us?
God. Years ago now.
Years. And so this gift that he
Going
gave
on maybe he's been gone maybe a decade.
Oh, fuck.
a decade. And so this gift that he gave Zanziva that's over 10 years old.
I would assume so. From what I remember her saying, they received it and he gave it to her as a wedding anniversary present.
Ah, hell.
She kept it locked away. He told her to keep it safe. But I don't know much more than that.
Well, that fucks our timeline all the way up.
Let's check this shed.
Let's check this shed.
Great.
I put the whole thing in my mouth. Do I get anything extra from it, or does it just vibrate extra? Okay,
No.
cool. Yeah.
Rattles your teeth.
I would like to say, I don't mean to step on any of your toes, but I, as an older fellow, would appreciate rest at some point. It is quite.
Yeah, you're pushing 3 or 4 in the morning at this point.
Oh, so do we want to maybe tackle the shed in the morning?
I think shed now, and then we have a good
shed
rest if we're able to sleep.
I do want to say, Marv, you seem pretty good at picking things up, seeing things, sensing things. Spagg, you were saying those rocks are vibrating a little bit.
Oh yeah, you can feel it in your mouth and everything.
John, maybe have Marv hold on to those, see if that vibration increases the closer we get
give
to
it
the
a
shed.
lick. See what you think.
Well, okay, do all you feel is necessary, Marv. But if you just want to make sure that, just see if the vibration increases as we get closer to this shed.
So,
right.
Marv, you're holding the jar and the...
No, the jar is in the backpack.
The
away
jar is in
from
the bag,
Marv.
but you're holding the necklace.
I will take the rocks and I'll kind of like rub them between my palms like you would if you were shining an apple after seeing them in Spagg's mouth.
With your perception as well, you feel the hum, or you feel the vibration and the hum. I also put a video of what the sound sounds like in our Slack for all of you as well, and I will post it in Discord after this session.
I can play that sound.
Yeah, you should absolutely play that sound if you can.
For us, and
is the bloop.
Not for us unless M changes.
Oh, I can enable screen sharing here.
Let's hopefully this doesn't.
Our tech is next level.
Give it a shot.
Dang it! All right. Well, y'all just saw a quick view of our
peek behind the curtain.
A little peek behind the curtain. There we go.
Oh, more peeks behind the curtain.
More peeks behind the curtain, but there's nothing I can do about that one. Oh, yep, I see it. For potential reasons later. Let's see, yeah.
Ooh, I hear it.
That's what it sounds like. Quiet because it's small. But that's what you hear.
I'm just gonna leave
Do
that.
a nice white noise.
It's white and gray technically.
Oh.
I'm just gonna leave that running in the background.
I'm personally
can do.
not a Breeze fan.
So you go, Marcus easily takes you out to the shed, walks in. It's a small shed, about in the kind of like the middle courtyard. The ambrosia is almost like a square shape with a small center courtyard, and this shed sits in the corner of the courtyard. You open the key, it opens the door, no problem, nothing traps or triggers. Inside the room, there are various tools and crafting materials. It looks like Mesa was tooling with weapon making of some kind. Most of the projects are unfinished except for one that looks to be sitting complete on a shelf. It looks like a sledgehammer, heavy and hefty. It's well crafted.
I'm going to go for it.
You go and pick it up?
I'm going to go pick it up.
Okay, so you put it in your hand, and as you turn it around, Hass, you see some of the language from the room carved into the handle, but it doesn't hurt your brain like the room did. The hammer feels fucking good in your hands.
I'm just gonna kind of look at the rest of the group with the kind of eyes that a kid gives their parents of like, please, can I keep the puppy?
Is that gonna eat your brain and take your bones away?
I'm surprised as well, but it feels quite right. Maybe they were trying to resist the Shoth and were creating something to destroy it.
I mean, give it a lick, and if it tries to talk to you, it's probably evil.
I think you're more gifted in that area.
All right, I lick the hammer.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, it's good.
May I have
stared at
a
it.
closer look at that before you tuck that away? All right, I'd like to look very closely at the inscriptions on it and kind of put that to my mind for later purposes. And then I'd also like to
Is this you casting Identify?
No, I don't have that spell.
Oh, okay.
And then I'd like to also kind of hold the rocks close to the actual sledge part of it.
Yeah.
And see if that amplifies anything in either one in my hands.
The vibration stops.
Interesting. I will relay that to the group to say there's an interaction
Is there
between
anything
these two objects.
special
or
with
three
the
objects.
head of the hammer itself?
It looks like a very well smithed hammerhead. There is some of the etchings that are on the handle on the hammerhead. It looks like just a very, very, very well crafted sledgehammer.
Amazing.
how
I'm gonna take a
does-
rubbing of these etchings.
How
Okay, sounds good.
does the jar goo feel about this hammer?
Oh yeah.
I'd imagine it would love to get its
Well, no, because
pseudopods on this hammer.
my thinking is the vibration stopped, right? Marv?
Yeah, Haas, get the goo out. See if it loves the hammer.
Maybe this is
You got-
like an anti.
I love that I've given you a litmus test for things that are good or bad.
Yeah.
Do you take the jar out?
I'm gonna take the jar out. And we'll hammer in one hand, jar in the other.
Yeah, I'll have handed the hammer back. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
and let's
look at
keep
it.
those.
Or-
Let's keep those
or-
rocks away from the jar. I think.
Almost the same behavior that you observed with Tam in the jar. The zolv recoils.
Now, why in the
Near the hammer.
fuck would Mesa be making an antithetical goo hammer? I mean, that's great for us and Hass. I'm really happy for you that you got a big hammer that you can hit goo people with. But this is very confusing.
May I? Would you?
Hass like just
indulge
has
me?
this moment of no longer remembering what's wrong in the world.
Pretty girl, big hammer.
Would you indulge me for a second? I would like to take the jar.
It is as if there is nowhere for this scare. It's like you've got a scared cat.
Oh, good. Okay, 'cause he's holding his neck again on his balls.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just double checking.
I'm gonna take a quick look around, folks. I'm pretty good at finding like nooks and crannies and hidden things. So I'm gonna do an
While
investigation,
Wyatt's-
trying to find like any levers or any mechanisms.
Looking around, Spagg would love to try to recreate these runes or carvings that are on the like hilt of this sick hammer,
Yeah.
just on like one of the like wood handled smithing tools that are around. Just like so like
Okay. Are you proficient with smith's tools or woodworker's tools?
my hands are far too soft for that. No.
Okay. So you're gonna be okay. So you can give it a try.
Whilst investigating with the 22, Wyatt looks over and goes, I can do that later. Oh,
You
God,
don't find anything, Wyatt.
That is terrible. What are you doing, Spagg? Come on.
Well, you don't know if it's terrible yet. I can always roll a no, it's bad.
It is like you start
Like a
carving,
12.
but you start losing your place. And when you look at the etchings that you have made into this other piece of wood, they look nothing like, it's like vague approximations of what it is, but nothing.
Spagg, I love this line of thinking. Do you mind if I give it a try? I'm a little more adept at, that kind of work.
Yeah, you're right. The idea does have merit.
It does.
Well
It
said.
does. It does. I'm going to try to do the same.
Look around first.
He didn't find
Yeah,
anything.
I've looked around. I'm going to try to do the same on a different tool. But I do have proficiency in
Every tool.
Tinker's tool, woodcarver's tool. Yeah, just about every tool that there
Cool.
is. to
Yeah, go
have.
for it.
What
There's not
ability?
much.
What ability score do you want me to use for this?
What ability score do you want to use for this?
I would probably like if it's like carving something neat.
Mhm.
I'd probably do dexterity.
Go for it then.
Okay,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
What are you carving it on?
Shit. Do we get risky? Yeah, sure. I'm gonna carve it onto the handle of my gun. The
Okay.
like wood etched handle of my
Go for it.
gun. Okay, that is a
All right,
28.
okay.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
And then I'm gonna put it
Pretty
near
good.
I'm gonna put it near the jar.
The jar swoops around and spends a moment next to the hilt of your gun and slinks backward just a little bit.
But
Not
like
as
not
violently.
Yeah, okay.
Not violently, but it slinks backward.
But I haven't made the gun worse at shooting goo. I've just
Nope.
okay. Cool.
Nope.
Okay. Well, listen, that plan that had great merits. Doesn't
Yeah,
seem to be
never
doing a
know.
lot. I think there might be more to this process, but I'm still very perturbed by the fact that Mesa was doing this. Maybe there's a part of Mesa that's like fighting back. Maybe they're still kind of in there.
Well, judging by the journal, you Mesa wasn't totally enthused by the process early on, so I think
Maybe this is an early day kind of thing.
And if they were keeping their lovely rock necklace locked up, I think we have reason to believe that they're not totally necessarily as far down the path as Dahlia.
I'll take wounding shots then. Yeah, I know y'all want to rest, but
It is almost 5 in the morning.
There's a bunch of like weapons and tools here, right?
Nothing seems to be really created. It seems to be a start, stop process.
Okay. The hammer was like...
The hammer is the only thing that is created in this room.
I see. Okay. Doesn't look like I could really salvage anything from all this. So, yeah, I think...
You still have your rooms at the Cup and Pony, if you like them.
You
let's
are
pony up.
welcome to sleep in the church as well. That's where I will be.
If y'all want to take a little bit of comfort, I might go with the Reverend just so that, he's not alone at night. I do have a concern about that, I think.
I am never alone.
Yeah, no, of course. Just not corporeally alone, I understand that you have a spiritual guardian, that you can summon thunder and lightning at will. It's pretty fucking cool. Sorry, excuse my language, Reverend. I keep brasher company usually. But I think having a corporeal companion during a sleep might be wise.
Where do
party
you
in the church?
Where do you head to sleep?
Wild.
Do you all go to the church?
I think
do some of you go back to the Cup and Pony?
No, I don't know. No, I want a bed. I fuck it.
Yeah, I want it. Hass is going to the Cup and Pony.
Yeah.
Marv is as well.
Before Marv leaves, I would kind of pull him aside. Now I know you were speaking of the Shoth being in your head. If you like, I can try to excise the demon.
I appreciate that. I do. And the time may well come where that is not only welcome, but necessary. But I do have a few things that I'd like to explore while still connected in whatever way we are. Now, I think the sun's probably kind of starting to peak somewhere.
Absolutely.
And I'll probably say I was hoping to do that this evening, but I think perhaps it's best left when we're at full rest.
Well, I do have it within me to summon what prayer I can. I feel up to it if you wish to do it before you rest. Can be a taxing ritual.
I think I'll stay as is right now.
Very well.
I hope you can respect that.
No, of course. Of course. Offer stands. Should you change your mind. And you head to the church.
So Wyatt and Tam, you head to the church. You bed down there for the night.
I feel like Wyatt is the kind of guy that sleeps with the back against the wall, looking at the door, gun pointed at the door, hat tipped over his eyes, just like
Wonderful.
Leaning on one knee, kind of like a man that never sleeps well.
Tam also sleeps in a chair and his eyes don't close.
Tam's my favorite. I love it. So Hass and Spagg and Marv, you head back to the Cup and Pony. It is quiet. As quiet as you when you were last there, Hass.
I sleep kind of spooning both the jar and the hammer.
You're spooning the jar?
Yeah, and the hammer.
And the hammer together?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I
you're
hate
carrying
that
the jar.
tone, Em.
Oh,
Well,
What? You're doing what now?
you're doing that.
It's,
Okay.
okay.
All right.
Yeah. I'm suspicious. I don't want anyone to steal the jar, but the hammer will keep it.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So Spagg, you are heading to your room to rest as well. Marv, you are headed to your room as well.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Okay.
a baby.
Okay. We'll deal with the church first. And then we will deal with the cup and pony.
Cool. We split the party. Sick.
Tam.
There's no beds in the church, Wyatt.
I'm gonna fill up my water while you deal with the church.
Can you make me a constitution saving throw, please?
There it is.
As you fall asleep.
Boy.
Come on, Tim. You got this. Oh, no.
Is it a natural one?
That's a natural one.
Oh, no.
Tam, you are a man who finds so much comfort in God that your dreams are often quite peaceful. Tonight, however, your dreams turn violent. They are tinged red, a deep green. You are in a hellscape. Pools of silvery blue liquids surround you, mountains higher than you can anticipate, floating objects beyond anything you've ever seen. You look down to your body, and where your arms are, you see long, almost tentacle-like protrusions, 3 of them. Your body feels gelatinous, lighter, freer. It is not unpleasant. You move through the world, this hellscape of a world, with ease and comfort. This feels like home. And you wake up the next morning.
I'd like to try to crack my knuckles.
You crack them, and a sound comes out.
Oh,
Comes
yeah.
out.
And he would take off his coat and begin rolling up his sleeves. And he would go over to the basin of holy water.
Okay. What would you like to do with the holy water?
I would kind of stand over it, and I would say, is Wyatt awake at this point?
Yeah, I feel like...
Any movement, Wyatt would be awake.
Yeah, true. So Wyatt did not sleep well, because I feel like Tam probably moved a lot in his sleep during the
Oh,
nightmares.
you bet your bip he did.
And I feel like for Wyatt to be asleep facing the front door of the church, he's literally against the altar, like asleep against the altar. So like, yeah, he is directly in your path to the...
He would look up, and he would
Good,
go,
Reverend?
No, I'm afraid I have glimpsed hell, and I believe that demon has set its sights upon me.
I see.
I am going to attempt something, and it may appear as though I am in a great deal of pain, but I just want you to know that I have to see this through.
Do you want to like establish a word that when you say it, I put a bullet through your head?
If I begin to lose my bones, should my body contort in an unholy way,
Right.
I would advise.
I'll try and make it quick and painless.
Have I had a long rest? Have I gained the benefits of a long rest?
Yes.
Okay. Judging by what I saw, would I conclude, is it reasonable to conclude that some of that goo is inside of me?
Yeah, you can make a reasonable assumption.
Okay. So I am going to take the holy water
Okay.
and I literally douse myself in it.
Yeah, I love this.
And then I have a long pole that I open up. There's like a skylight in the roof of the church. So they're like the sun, I guess it's the sun now, or
Yeah.
whatever's left of the moonlight. is open, and I like to think that like at the bottom, underneath there is like a floorboard where the knot in the wood has been like taken out, and I kind of affix my
staff to it. Yeah,
cane
your cane to it.
the
Yeah,
ground,
Mhm.
which is like near the altar.
Yes.
And I take out my Bible, I kind of set it down, and I start furiously praying.
I love this. Please, yes.
And I would like to try to cast Guardian of Faith.
Okay, what are you intending to have happen? What would you like to have happen?
I am hoping that the Holy Spirit, acting as a large spectral guardian, that any creature hostile to me that moves to a space within 10 feet of the Guardian for the first time on turn must succeed on a dex save, or they take radiant damage.
You're doing the tadpole thing that we did.
I'm trying
You're
to
using that
excise
against
the
us.
demon from
Yeah.
myself.
Okay. I
That's
will have you
amazing.
roll a religion check for me, please.
Does a spectral angel appear? Is this changing Wyatt's outlook on the universe?
It's a 16.
Okay. Wyatt, I will narrate this from your perspective.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
You see Dr. Clampton slam his cane into the floor and the skylight opens. It is mid-morning at this part, a clear day. And as he starts praying, reciting scripture feverishly, fervently, your vision is enraptured with him, hearing about what you know about Dr. Clampton, this thunderous sermons that he gave. You barely clock that it starts to get a bit darker outside as clouds tend to roll in. As Tam reaches an apex of his sermon, you hear a crack of thunder in the distance. 3 of the church windows blow open, and a gust of wind pushes Tam backward, knocking him against the back wall. Tam, you hit the back wall and you slump to the floor. Dazed, you look up. You are a man of God. But you swear you see the Holy Spirit in front of you. Wyatt, you don't see anything. You just see Tam staring up, tears in his eyes. As it worked.
I would like to exorcise the demon.
So you stand up, standing in front of you where this vision is, and you walk through this guardian. You take...
Oh boy.
It leaves after 60 points of damage.
Okay. You take 4 points of psychic damage.
Okay, yeah.
As you move through this vision in front of you. And it is as if you feel someone take the breath out of your lungs. As you watch a small speck hit the floor. You just hear a tick.
It makes a clinking sound.
Sounds like a rock hitting the floor.
I'm gonna
Also,
go.
I forgot to clock. Did I get a full rest before that?
You did, yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna go look at that. Does it look like the necklace stones that we found?
It does. And that's where we're going to take a break.
Oh hell! All right.
Wow, guys, stuff's getting weird. We haven't even dealt with what's happening back at the Cup and Pony. Oh my goodness. Adam,
The 3 of us wake up so well rested. We had the
rested.
Nothing
sweetest
at
little
all
dreams.
happens.
We wake
Um,
up and we look at our clocks, and it's before our alarm goes off, so we can all
What is
snuggle
like-
back.
5
to bed.
minutes. Oh,
Adam,
it's the-
can you put us in the maybe like generic wait sequence just for a 5-minute break? Can you do that or no?
Yes.
If not, that's fine. Just
I think I can. Yeah.
we'll
the
take a
5 minute,
short. We'll take a
54
shorter
minute
break
one.
because we have some more things to do tonight.
I have one called Generic White Sequence 2022.
That's the one.
So
That's the one
I'm
you
gonna
want.
do then,
Yeah. So we're gonna be back in probably about 5 minutes. Grab yourself some non-Shoth liquid, please. And keep your bones with you. We will be back soon. Bye.
Bye.
See you in
Bye.
5.
Hey.
All right, we are back.
Hello.
So we will shift back
Hello.
to the Cup and Pony Inn, where Hass cradles the jar of the zolv that they have, as well as her new hammer. And Spagg and Marv sleep in their rooms. Hass, what is your passive perception?
14.
Okay. What is the order of your spooning?
So
This is
I have the
important.
jar
Yeah.
still in the backpack, so it's
Oh,
soft. I don't want the glass against my skin.
Okay.
That's like against my body, very like Gandalf.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah. Okay. I
forget
got you.
to use that orb, but
Yeah.
forgive me.
The
And
Palantir.
then with the arm that's wrapped over it, I have my hand around the hammer.
Okay. Ooh. All right. I'm gonna have you roll me. Your passive perception is only 14.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have you roll me a. What is your strength?
My strength is +5.
So it's a 20.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, man. So in the middle of the night, Hass, you don't know this because you're entirely asleep. The jar starts to rock inside the bag. And it manages to move the bag enough that there is a potential for your arm, even holding the hammer, to drop. I'm going to have you roll me a perception check at disadvantage, please.
Okay. I rolled the same thing twice. That's a 13.
Okay. The bag manages to move over your arm, which falls off the bed, and the bag rolls onto the floor.
Do I hear it?
You're
Fall?
asleep. Your passive perception is 14.
Damn it.
The jar moves its way out of the bag and begins to clink against the inside. It is trying to break itself out. I'm going to have you roll me another perception check, please. The jar is free of the bag.
With advantage or disadvantage?
Disadvantage
Not
because you're
advantage,
asleep.
but normal. That went downhill fast. That's a 7.
Okay. I'm going to roll a strength check for the jar. Okay. Deep within your slumber, after a very, very long day, you don't hear the glass break.
What about the second jar?
You can roll me another perception check.
Too late. Too late.
Yeah.
We thought
Josh.
about this, baby.
With disadvantage.
We've had
That's
one jar, yes.
That's a 16.
Okay. I'm going to have the zolv.
Is it all sandy now? Is it all like gritty?
It's a bit of a
Yeah.
gritty zolv.
There's sand broken.
I'm gonna
Well,
have
which
it-
jar
Sand
breaks? The one
broken.
within the jar or the jar on top of the jar?
Well, let's roll a d4.
How's our
for that.
jarception?
Let's roll a d4 for that. Odds, the jar on the outside breaks. Evens, the jar on the inside breaks.
Papa jar outside, baby jar inside.
Jar on the outside breaks.
Papa jar is down.
So now you have a tiny jar.
Fuck Papa Jars.
Papa jar.
So I'm going to have with that in mind, I'm going to have the zolv roll a stealth check, essentially, to see if it beats your perception check. Okay. So instead of once the outer jar breaks,
Papa jar. You can
The
say
Papa
it.
jar breaks. The smaller jar rolls itself free of the sand. And because this zolv is learned, it forms the shape of a hand, pushes its fingers up, pushes fingers up against the top, and twists, and twists, and twists, until it pops out. The small, I would say there's probably like a mixing bowl sized amount of zolv. It climbs up your bedpost, avoiding the hammer, around the top of your pillow, leaving a slight trail, singeing the fabric slightly. And it comes behind your hair and moves its way over the front of your face. It covers your face for a moment, yet you do not suffocate. It takes an impression of your face almost as if a mask, peacefully sleeping. It moves too far down, getting too close to the hammer, and moves back up, sitting calmly on your face for a moment. You see, well, a fly on the wall would see the swirling nature of the zolv over top of your face. It stays that way for about an hour and a half. It then retracts back down the bedpost, slipping through a crack in the wall, and is gone. You all wake up the next morning with the benefits of a full long rest.
Hell yeah.
As
Call that a
you
win.
wake up still holding your hammer, except your arm is out. It's painful. You've been supporting the weight of the hammerhead. And you realize the jar is not there. You look over and you see the broken jar, the broken Papa jar, sand everywhere, all on the floor, and the lid open.
Out of frustration, I just scream and bring the hammer up and smack down on where the broken jar is.
The other glass, all of it just shatters. Everything just shatters. Shards of glass fly everywhere.
I'm hustling out of my room hearing this. Like I'm up, out. I've got a knife in my hand. I'm just wearing my pants. That's it.
I let it escape.
Let's go get it. You two, you're from the bush. Sniff or something. Find the trail.
Is there the trail? Can we see the trail of acid of where it went?
Little snail trail.
You see, yeah, that it burned a little bit of a trail into almost a little hole in the corner of the
Okay.
wall that might have been previously occupied by a mouse, and it's gone.
I would like to try something here.
Yeah.
DM, if you'll humor me, this is kind of where I was going last night, so this actually works out even better for me.
Wonderful.
I would like to take a moment to, I'll say to Spagg, go back into my room and get those rocks. Bring them back here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And while he's away doing that, I'll start kind of tracing the track. I'll take a page from Spagg's book and I'll taste it a little bit.
Yeah.
No, I'm not eating my own teeth. I'm gonna
Spagg's got a lot of books. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go like full tracker mode here because now this feels like something that I know how to do.
Okay.
That I can see evidence of this thing and I can follow it.
Okay.
And you can see that Marv's like almost getting kind of excited. You can see his muscles tensing as he's kind of in the zone now. And what I want to try and do is use my primeval awareness.
Oh,
right?
I love it.
So I can expend a ranger spell slot. It's a sense. I'm going to assume these are probably aberrations as opposed to celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiend, or undead. So I'll
it would fall
focus
into the
on
large aberration
that area.
category.
Yeah. Are present within a mile of me. but to bring it back to kind of reality, I want it to be almost a hyper-focused tracking on what do I have in front of me, and I want to use those rocks. I want to hold them as I'm running my hands kind of over this trail, and focus that way to see if I can kind of put anything together that way.
Okay. So as you hold the necklace with the 2 stones over the track that was left by the now fugitive zolv, it tends to sway a little bit towards it. It's almost if there's like a magnetic pull towards it. And you watch it hit where the wall is, and then it falls limp.
Okay.
If you taking a look in the little hole that you assume, which is where the zolv escaped from, looks like a hole that might have been bored there by a mouse and just not boarded up. If you put your hand in it, you feel that there is about like 6 inches of gap. Or you can estimate that there's about 6 inches of gap. There's like a 2 wall. It would be like inner wall and then outer wall, which you assume is the front of the building.
While this is happening,
let Marv finish that up, and then we'll go from there.
Sorry.
No, totally okay.
I would like to take my knife and try and pry some boards open around there so I can actually see properly inside of the wall, feeling that there is a gap. I want to see if I can continue to follow this trail and see if it has remained internal or has exited the building from what I can see where I'm at.
So you pry a couple of the like wall boards away, and you see it is almost as if like you see a little bit of the acid burning at the lip, and then it's gone.
Okay.
It would be wide enough, you assume, that the zolv, with your sense of tracking and stuff, that the zolv like dropped.
Okay.
It dropped.
I'll stand up.
And you're on the 2nd floor at this point.
Well, I'll tell them kind of what I think it's clearly escaped into the wall with its kind of amorphous form. Who knows where it's gotten to? I can only see so far, and I don't know that Mr. Galway would be interested in me tearing this place apart board by board, though I would. That said, what I have learned is that if we can pick up this little acid trail here, these stones, there's a pull. So if we can be sharp and watch for this, because we've seen this acid a few places now, I have a good sense of what it looks like. And if we can catch that trail, maybe we can use these as a bit of a divining rod, if you will.
You want to do a lap around the building?
I think that we need to, because we have no idea how long this thing's been gone. I think that we need to hustle out of here and get the rest of our party and form ourselves a little bit of a plan.
All right. Yeah, let me just put my teeth in.
Sorry, Hass, go ahead. Yes.
Sorry.
No, not a problem. Go ahead.
While this is happening, Hass notices the acid on her pillow.
Yes.
And feels afraid, but doesn't want to show the other people, and is still really, really angry, but also ashamed that she let this happen. So while he's looking, Marv has it under control. She goes downstairs and drinks some whiskey.
Do you go and see Crannies at the bar?
I see Crannies at the bar and ask for a bottle of whiskey to start my day.
Oh, well, hello, Hash. It's nice to see you. Have you seen Mr. Galwood this morning?
No.
He wasn't with you?
He was not. Have you been up to his office?
Keep
the whiskey company coming while you think, but yeah.
I went and knocked on his office door, but I didn't see him. I could have sworn I heard him last night, but he was yelling, and I was afraid, so I didn't peek out, and I left.
We had a weird night.
I heard that it's everything that happened outside.
We're afraid that we're looking for something. If you see anything suspicious or an acid, something that looks like a trail, like a snail trail of acid, please let me know. I'm afraid that might help us find Mr. Galwood.
All right. You didn't hear him upstairs when he was in his office or anything? We were supposed to have our quarterly meeting this morning and it didn't happen.
Unfortunately, nothing woke me up last night.
I see. I might pop into his office. I have a key. Would you accompany me?
Yes.
I put on a good front, but I'm a tad more nervous than I anticipate with everything that's happened in the last couple of days.
Of course. If
right.
Instead of you can give me that key and I can walk ahead of you on the stairs.
Well, no, I'll hold on to the key myself. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. I will hold on to this key. Yeah, you walk upstairs very slowly with Crannies, and you head over to the room door. I will allow Wyatt or Spagg, while we're still at the Cup and Pony, you slept well.
Yeah.
Do you get up with the hustle bustle of what happened in Hass's room?
Yeah, he goes over everything started. I'm just putting my teeth in.
You're putting your teeth in, right? Wyatt and Tam, do you head over from the church to the Cup and Pony?
Tam, you feeling better?
I do. I feel much more myself.
This came out of you, so
yes.
Honestly, you getting pricked by that needle and then excising that demon like the great reverend you are, is giving us a pretty big clue.
Yeah.
I think these stones are their corpses.
Yeah, I think you're right. Suppose we should put that somewhere safe, lest it become sentient again.
Does it feel like a metal of some sort?
It feels like an ore, like a metallic, both metal and rock.
I'm gonna hold on to it, Reverend. I might try to make a couple bullets out of this, just in case. It might be a bad thing. I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel if someone shot me with like a bone bullet, because I feel like that's the equivalent. If someone like shot meat at me, I think that would be unpleasant.
Meat bullets.
Yeah, maybe even just as like a mind game thing, I'll make bullets out of it. But maybe if I do some really fine work, I might be able to get that sentence or whatever it was that was carved on that hammer. Maybe get that on a bullet made of them. I don't know, worth a try.
Yeah.
What did the head of the hammer look like?
Just like a
regular hammer. Okay.
Just like a typical sledgehammer.
The metal didn't look in any way.
No. Okay. So you head over to the Cup and Pony, and you arrive just as about the time that you see Crannies is about 3/4 of the way up the stairs at this point, with Hass walking towards Skullwood's office. He acknowledges you with a wave with his rag, and you walk all the way towards Galwood's office. He puts the key in and opens the door. Do you go inside?
Yeah.
Bravely. You go inside, and the office is empty. It is not ransacked. It looks identical to when you left it, except there is no man in it. And Crannies is standing there, and he goes, "It feels quite empty without him in it, I must say."
Does he leave often?
No.
Where does he sleep?
He points to a door, and there it is open, and you see a bed that is it is made, and he is not in it.
Any notes left over on the desk?
Oh, y'all can roll me investigation checks, please.
I'll make an investigation check.
I can assist someone. I am pretty good at looking for clues.
I'm not.
Okay, I'll take the advantage then.
Yeah, take the advantage.
Okay, my first one was a 25, so
great.
25 is what it's gonna be.
Okay, so in Galwood's desk, you find a locked. Actually, sorry, not in his desk. You find in the side wall that has a bunch of books on it. You find one of the middle cabinets. Most of them are open. This is a man who lives in his office. He has no reason to really lock them. But there's one cabinet in the middle that is locked.
All right, well, I feel like I want to respect this man's property in not shooting this lock open. So I'm gonna, Reverend, if you I hope you don't.
Grannies, do you have a key for this one little lock thing?
Unfortunately, I don't. Sorry,
All
son.
right, break it.
Well, I'm not gonna break it, but Reverend, I hope you don't judge me on this, or the good Father doesn't judge me. I'm gonna take out lock.
Just before you do that, I will give you my blessing.
Okay. Well,
Cast guidance?
if God
Oh.
wills it to be, then who am I to argue?
I would also suggest searching for any tiny needles before you do that.
It's a great thinking. I'm gonna
Lest
check it for
we
traps
repeat
really quickly.
The
Sure, you
mistakes
can-
of the past.
You can cast you can use an investigation check to check for traps.
It's
I would also
21.
take that time to, while he's doing that, inform them of how I cast out the demon from the body.
Wonderful. 21. Yeah, it is
I'd
not
like to
trapped.
roll insight on your deception.
And then I'm gonna make a lock picking check. Oh, I got
No
a
deception.
4 on the guidance roll. Let's go. That is with my
16 is
proficiency
the
in thieves'
DC.
tools.
Convince me God exists.
19 plus 4.
I guess that'd be persuasion.
19
Yes.
plus 9. So 28 to unlock
that's a
this.
15.
This
Spagg, you still don't believe. It's a
Spagg
good
doesn't
story
buy
though.
it.
It's a good story though. It's very he's very entertaining when he tells the story. It's enrapturing.
I
but,
believe that you believe you're telling the truth.
Wyatt.
You are already saved. It is all right.
Y'all are talking an awful lot near a man who needs to be hearing what he's doing.
Sorry, you said a 25?
28.
28. Fantastic. You open the door and you see on the inside there is not much in this. There is a locked tube. It looks to be almost like a tube of metal that is locked like at the ends, that there is some mechanism keeping it locked. The initials JF are on the outside. And Marv, you can roll me a history check, please.
Okay. History.
Wanda Fuca.
That is going to be a wonderful 6.
I mean, the DC was only 5. You pull,
Yeah.
you see the letters JF, the flourish of it, and you pull the flag out of your pocket from that you took off of the skeletons.
Own army.
Same initials, JF.
Well, isn't that an interesting coincidence, friends?
Well, I can try
Ow.
to open this up, but I'm gonna look in the inside, because a smart man puts a lock on a cabinet and then puts a secret compartment in that cabinet, because most people go, well, it was locked, there wouldn't be a secret compartment, and that's how you
Yeah,
get them.
You can roll an
So-
investigation check.
I would like to bless you once more.
Yeah, no, Father, just lay those blessings on me. I saw some shit this morning, so
He believes.
That's a dirty 20 before
All of the extra numbers.
so
Wonderful, yes.
28.
Okay, so there is no extra mechanism or like secret compartment in this inner compartment. It is only the tube, and I will allow that check with the 28 to stand, that you figure out the mechanism that opens this tube, and you pull out a set of plans and some documents. Unrolling them on the desk, you find information about the previous mining operation that used to work here in Clementine, the Foster brothers. They found a vein of something they called lunarium. It is a new metal. They called it the metal from the stars in the way that it shone under the light. They had some scientists come in and they showed off it gave a very low frequency humming, but it is very strong, stronger than steel. It matches the description of what you have on Mesa's necklace.
Which I am
It-
now wearing, by the way.
You are now wearing it. Okay.
Hey, Crannies, do you know much about Madame Zanziva?
Only that she is a wonderful woman to be respected in this town.
Absolutely. Was her husband involved in what were the brothers' names again, Em?
The Foster brothers.
Was her husband involved with the Foster brothers at all?
Like the owners of the previous mine?
Yeah.
I mean, he might have invested some money, but I don't know about that.
Okay.
He was a lovely man.
The Dupree
Mr. Zanzibar.
boys, they born and raised here, right?
Oh no. No, they came from out west.
They came out of town. Okay.
Does the metal that came out of me look anything like the metal on the...
Yeah,
Looks
it's the
the
same
same.
metal.
It's the same metal that's on Mesa's necklace, and it is the same description in the documents.
So if we want to, Crannies, do you mind giving us a moment? Unless you don't trust us in this room, I know you did just see us break into a couple things, but purely to find the good.
I mean, if I didn't want you to,
Yeah, you
break
would
into
have
things,
kicked
I
our
wouldn't have
asses up and down those stairs.
I wouldn't have let you in here. I
Absolutely.
don't appreciate the insinuation. I'm gonna go pour myself a drink and say I left you to your own devices, so I have some culpable deniability.
We appreciate that.
And he toddles out of the room.
Now, from what I saw this morning, I think that metal is the corpses of our gooey friends. Thank you, ADH Adventures for the raid.
Hello, and also thank you, Cody, for the raid before.
Cody.
Hello. Thanks, everyone.
I'm thinking maybe these Foster brothers found themselves a graveyard.
Wait a second.
Huh.
We know where the goo wants to go. Goo wants to go to the target. That's what the brain thing said.
Ah, shit.
We know that they found the thing, they dug it up, it's connected to things. It might be a graveyard. That's problematic. But we should go check out that the target.
I want to... Yeah, we should do that quick. I want to see what happens when you melt this metal, whether or not it uncorpsifies.
That's a great idea, too.
Bringing back the dead in front of the Reverend?
No, I'm talking about maybe we found the source of all these problems. They opened a mine. They found an amazing metal. Then they tried to smelt that metal and found themselves with a
you
Shoth
actually
problem on their hands.
You read the documents a little bit more, and it talks about the Foster brothers finding a large chunk of it deep in the mountain, a very, very large, almost spherical ball of it that there's a picture that's been depicted of it, and the picture shows that the large rock has been split in two halves. They excavated deeper and deeper, but they didn't find any more. The Foster brothers were also very hard up for money. They were on the edge of bankruptcy when they made this discovery, so they sold the rock and they sent it to the coast, the destination you don't know.
The West Coast?
The West Coast.
There she
is. You, thinking about it now, the substance that you have, this lunarium, also looks like the solidified substance that was at the bottom of the mining pit.
Perhaps they are trying to reunite.
Yeah, that would make sense. Does anything in the plans talk about them, like, refining this metal?
No. It simply was sold. There's a bill of sale in it.
Can y'all give me, like, 5 minutes? I just want to check something.
Sure, do your thing.
I'm going to,
we don't know how fast this little slug moves. Yeah. We should check the target as soon as possible.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Split up?
Yeah, let's split the party. You stay here, vulnerable and alone. We'll go to the target. Perfect.
I'm gonna get my pack out and take out my crucible and all of my basically my bullet making things. Yeah. I'm gonna set it out and I'm gonna try to melt down the piece that came out of Tam into.
Okay.
I'm essentially gonna try to refine the metal.
Okay, how hot does your crucible get in this businessman's office?
No, I would do it out back. I would take it outside.
Oh, out back? Okay, how hot does it get?
Hot enough to melt lead.
What's the melting point of lead?
Low.
Actually, this would be because I think Wyatt would use steel, so it would be hot enough to make steel. Because Wyatt's guns and stuff are made of steel.
Okay.
But I don't know if that.
You put it
I don't know if
in
that's science. I don't know.
A lot of different types of steel.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call it the melting pot of No, but that seems so
Wet
hot
steel,
for like a.
dry steel.
I feel like
what
he
are we
wouldn't just have like a regular crucible that could.
Because I mean, yeah, okay.
It would have to be lead.
I will say, regardless of what
327 degrees Celsius is lead.
Okay. Regardless of what you do, it does not melt. It stays perfectly cylindrical. Or sorry, spherical. As spherical as it was before. There is no change to it.
I'm gonna pack up. Well, I'm gonna turn everything off. Wait the required like 10
Amount of
minutes
time.
for it to cool. Pack up and head towards the ambrosia.
Okay. So as you all head to the ambrosia, Wyatt catches up with you maybe 15, 20 minutes later. But you make your way over to the ambrosia. And it's quite quiet. It's the morning hours. I would say it's probably around like after your long rest, probably about 2 in the afternoon, maybe 3 at this point. You see Marcus there again, just setting up for the evening because it is the ambrosia and they will be open for business this evening.
Marcus, we desperately need access to Dahlia's room again.
Oh yeah, all right. I'll let you on up.
And I say, Marv, eyes, rocks,
Yep.
acid.
You are
I'm with
taking
you.
a peek around.
Just
We're holding
Yeah,
your
I have
taking
a
awareness.
passive perception of 20. So
Yeah, great.
if there's anything,
You notice that as you walk up towards Dahlia's room, the lunarium around your neck starts to pull a little bit.
Okay.
But you do not see any of the acid trail.
Okay.
And as you go into Dahlia's room, it is as you left it.
Yeah, well, worth a shot.
Tulip comes out as she comes out of her room before Wyatt arrives. Y'all all right?
Just following a bum lead. Is it all right if we bring a visitor over here? Do you know what's her name? The lovely
Geraldine.
Geraldine. Could we get
Miss Capshaw.
that's the one? Yes, please.
Yeah, all right. I mean, she can be here as much as anyone else has right to be
We
here.
love that. Okay, we're gonna come right back. Talk to the witch.
You had set up your appointment with Geraldine for the evening.
Ah,
as a
beans.
Do we
note.
need to pick up any supplies before we embark any further?
You've got God on your side. I've got my mix, my powders. We're great.
You have not been to Duchesne, Dufresne, and DuPont, the general store, as of this point.
Has Wyatt arrived at this point, or
Wyatt would have just
Okay.
arrived as
Wyatt.
the group is walking back down the stairs. Tulip is like leaning up over the balcony.
if we're talking about supplies, I wouldn't hate to get a rifle. I feel like when I was up on that roof, I was just kind of, it was kind of at the edges of my range. A rifle would help with that. I don't usually use the rifle, but need
The general store.
All right. You head on over to Duchesne, Dufresne, and DuPont, and it is the largest building that is not the Cup and Pony or the Ambrosia in Clementine. There is a warehouse behind with an attached smaller shop front. As you go inside, a small bell dingles. It is very clean, very minimalist design. You see a woman tending the front desk. She's wearing like brown tweed slacks and a white button-up dress shirt. Her hair is cut very short, which is very uncommon for women of this time period, and it is slicked back. With the right jacket and hat, she could easily pass for a man. The squareness of her jaw is set as she pores over a ledger, and she does not look up as you walk in. There is all sorts of things around the shop, and you see a door open to quite what looks to an extensive back room that has a piece of glass. You can see all manner of things that are kept behind the counter. There are, there is feed, there is horse tack, and all a bunch of stuff she sells. It's a well-stocked general store.
Excuse me.
You would know this to be Rebecca DuPont, Tam. And Tam, you would know that she is the widow of the late Robert DuPont. And based on your knowledge, Tam, you would know that she is the only reason this business stays afloat. Her business partners, Samuel Duchesne and Alan Dufresne, treat her like she is incompetent. They both would easily bankrupt this business with the amount of time they spend both at the Ambrosia, with as well as the liquor and tobacco that they bring into the store that they don't sell. And Tam, you would know too that Rebecca is quite a devout member of your clergy, and she has confessed to hating her business partners, and that it is the only way she can make it is to stay attached to this business. It is very hard for a widow. Her prospects to remarriage are almost nothing. So she chose to turn her energy towards the business. And she has a knack for it. She is very good at her job.
No, Reverend, these three, the Dufresne, Duchesne, and Defont, they aren't related to the Duprees at all. I just feel like there's a lot of dues kind of hanging around this town.
It has to do with migration of a kind.
Oh, I see.
French settlers out east.
I see. Well, sorry, you were talking to. It just occurred to me. I was
Madame Dupont.
At your voice, Tam, she looks up. Dr. Clampton.
Yes, in the flesh.
You are a sight for sore eyes.
Yes.
I am very happy to have you walk through my shop. It is good to see you again. You are keeping well.
I have been better, but I am renewed with the spirit.
That is good to hear. It is always wonderful to see you. What can I do for you and your compatriots today?
I can't speak for my compatriots, but I was wondering if you had any health tonics or elixirs.
For you, Reverend?
Well, just to replenish my stock.
She reaches below the counter and she pulls out 2 bottles. She says, I think these might fit your bill, Reverend.
in this time period, almost certainly cocaine. Almost all of the health tonics and were just cocaine, and that's why the people were like, "Oh, these work! Oh, I feel good."
And for you, Reverend, well, that'll be for equivalency, 50 gold pieces for the larger and 25 for the smaller.
Well, let me check my purse here.
You are welcome to put that on credit. I
That
know you are a good man.
Would be ideal.
Of course.
Yes. Do you have any other items that may be of interest?
What are you looking for?
Thank you for the raid, Rye Bread TV.
Thank you so much for the raid, folks.
I don't know. Spagg, go ahead. I'll think.
Reverend, you were saying that you wanted to come in and ask after if there was anything funky that the Dupree brothers purchased here.
Yes, we were wanting to inquire if the Duprees had been to the shop any time recently.
Or Mesa, or Dahlia from the Ambrosia.
There's been a bit of trouble.
Oh, goodness.
Also, do you mind if I look at your rifles? I might end up picking one. Is there a display that I could look at?
Your mention of guns, she smiles and she looks at the 2 on your hip. Why don't you put those on the counter? Let me take a peek at them.
Oh, okay. I make like someone who is being asked to hand their baby to a stranger. He's like, puts it down on the table.
She turns slightly and you see a very impressive looking handle of something on her hip as well. She looks them over for a moment. What do you need a rifle for?
Just give me a bit of extra range. Do y'all notice the skeletons in town the other day?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, them bone critters. I was shooting at them from the roof of the Ambrosia. It was just, I was still hitting, but rifle kind of packs a bit of a punch from afar. So
you make these yourself?
Yeah, I put them together.
I too am someone who dabbles. Quite well, I might add. Now, based on what you have here, I might be able to offer you a couple upgrades if you want.
Okay. Like parts that I could add in?
Well, I would show you what I would do, and you would need me to do the labor for you. I'm not giving away my trade secrets. So she lays out, for brevity's sake, 3 options of what she can do to upgrade your gun. Firstly, what she calls an optimized optic. She'll add a +1 to hit and damage to your gun. Secondly, she could offer, she could add one of them to your gun.
Right.
Secondly, she could offer a silencer to add a +5 to all stealth checks that you make. Thirdly, she gets a glint in her eye when she tells you about this one. Now, I've been working on something, and I've been testing it out. It's still experimental, and I'm working out the kinks, but I call it the recoil enhancer. Gives your gun a bit of an extra punch. Makes it easier to handle, and some extra special stuff on the side.
Now, it's crazy you say that. I've been working on bullets that do something similar. They kind of hit in a way that knocks you down.
So she, for mechanical sake, I will describe it to you. This recoil enhancer, you will roll me 3d20. One of those will be an extra crit. One of those will be a critical misfire that blows back in your face for fire damage. The other is a wounding critical that deals regular damage the first round and half of that damage at the start of the target's next turn.
Sorry. So when I roll to attack with this, I roll 3d20.
No. You roll 3d20 right now. So if she was to add this modifier, the first roll that you would be an extra number on a d20 roll that would be a critical success for you.
Oh yeah, so if like you rolled like a 6.
So you rolled a 6. So a 6 would also be a crit. The other one, so say you rolled a 14, that 14 would be a critical misfire, and you would get fire damage from that. And the other d20 roll that you would roll would be something called a wounding critical. So you deal regular damage the first round and half of that damage to the target at the start of its next turn.
Okay, yeah.
Do
Me
it.
increasing my crit range by another
More
number because I
dice,
already do
more
19 and
dice.
20. I think I'll be like, oh, it's going to be hard to say yes to this because, as you know, if I was like, can I work on your gun? Like, I get it, though. I will want you to know my secrets. I grab my the one that is technically my arcane cannon.
Yes.
And I'm like, I've been working on this. This is like
I understand.
kind of all me, so I put that one away. But yeah, this one's just kind of one that I've modified over time. So I would love that upgrade. That sounds fascinating.
All right, that'll be 500 gold pieces.
Okay, I think I have that. Let me have a look.
You guys are flush with cash.
I also spent night with Tulip, so
You did. You should have enough based on what Galwood paid you.
Yeah, why not? I slammed down 500. Like, figure it out later.
Okay, I'm gonna give. I have 367
Great.
because
Here's
I
a
gave
$1.44.
because Tulip was expensive.
She's an expensive lady.
And I will remove all of my gold.
Great. Yeah. So you have the recoil and answer. So roll me those 3d20 right now.
All right. So this is
for the extra crit.
Okay. That's an 8.
Yes.
Shit,
so if you roll an 8, if you roll an 8, it is now a critical hit.
What would have happened if that had been a natural 1?
I would have made you re-roll it.
Okay.
If he rolls a 20, does it just become a super crit? Where you triple the
Okay,
dice?
this is
no,
the-
be cool, Am. Be cool. It's a triple. It's a triple
I am
quit.
so cool, Sean.
This is the
Get out
misfire.
of here. This is the critical misfire.
All of them are 8s.
Also 8.
That is a 3.
Okay, so that 3 is a critical misfire. If you do that, your gun blows back and you take 1d10 fire damage.
Okay, and then the wounding
And
one
it makes a farting noise that everyone thinks comes from you.
is a 16.
Yes, so a 16 is a wounding critical. You don't deal double dice, but you deal regular damage the first round and then half that damage at the start of the target's turn.
Oh shit! All right. Yeah, sick. That's dope
Come
as
on,
hell.
Fritz.
So she is directing you around the shop as she's tooling. It is like tooling with your gun. It is as if this is breathing to her. She is like very, very smooth mechanically with your gun. She's admiring your craftsmanship and complimenting you on your work.
Like a whole. I'm like,
She takes it into the back for a moment.
Yeah.
and then comes back out, and there's one part added to it.
The time it's in the back, why it's just pacing. Just like,
right.
man.
So once she's done with that, that takes about half an hour. What can I get for the rest of you? Is there anything you're looking for?
Sorry, I did interrupt the line of questioning that we had established.
Yes, you're wanting some information. No, the Duprees have not come in and bought anything recently. I have been cleared out of dynamite and explosives, however. I'm afraid I am not at liberty to say. I have been asked to keep that to myself.
Now, if we were to guess correctly, because you haven't told us anything, if we were to guess correctly and you were to tap a pencil twice, would you be willing to do something like that?
That depends on what else you're looking for in this shop and how much money you drop here.
Oh, okay.
May I interject for a second? What we are looking to do in this lovely town is make sure that the dead don't rise from their graves and attack the lovely... You know that skeletons attacked, right?
Yeah.
I did.
That happened last night. And whoever is purchasing all this dynamite, unless they're just an enthusiastic miner picking up some extra stuff on the side, if it's someone mysterious, we'd love to know that. Because as of right now, we are grasping at straws at ways to make sure that skeletons don't attack the town again.
Is it someone well established in town?
She thinks for a moment. She looks to Tam. If you must know, and you did not hear it from me, it was Richard Bainbridge.
Bainbridge?
Who's that?
Allison Bainbridge's father. The girl you rescued from the mine.
Oh, he's going to blow up the mine. Good for him.
You mentioned,
Blow it up again.
That makes the most sense.
Was this a recent purchase, like this morning?
Yes.
Okay, good. He can do that.
No, because what? I'm worried about that.
Do you have any chocolate?
Queen Shock, thank you for the raid. Welcome on in. Hey.
Thank you so much for the raid. She looks at you, Hass. And she smiles at you. She blushes a little bit.
I don't do that. That's Becca.
Hass keeps it cool.
She pulls out. She walks over to a stand in the store, and she pulls out some very nice, looks like dark chocolate.
Okay. I buy one bar, assuming bar shape, for Geraldine later when we visit her. And I buy a second bar and tell Rebecca's for being so kind to us and answering all our questions.
She laughs. She takes it. She cracks it open right away and starts munching on the chocolate. And she looks at the shawl on your shoulders. How long you had that?
Oof. 6 years now.
Does it serve you?
It's gotten me through. It keeps me warm and keeps the sand off.
She does one of those, and she walks over to a crate. It's on the other side of the room. And you see her, she like kicks a crowbar up that's standing against the wall, and just with a one, just like, she just pops open this crate. And inside there's just some beautiful silks. Very beautiful fabric, embroidered and in all sorts of colors. And she furls one open. It's in a deep, deep purple. Complementary, I would say, to your lavender, but more of a rich royal purple tone. Mm-hmm. This one. If you're interested in looking to replace it, I'd recommend this one.
And it's not only beautiful,
it'll help you.
All right, how much do I owe you for the bundle?
350 gold pieces.
All right. I've been charmed into the sale.
And so for your mechanically, that is a shawl of protection, +1 to AC and saving throws.
Hell yeah. I love that it's a shawl of protection.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Better than a cloak. As she's walking back to the desk, putting the money away, she spies your blades, Marv. You look like you're handy with those.
I like to think so.
You ever use poison on him?
In a pinch, I'm pretty sure I have at some point or another.
She stands behind the desk, pops into the back room for a moment, and she pulls out a hefty jar that has a dark green liquid in it. That'll do you something fierce.
To pick up the jar, kind of have a look.
It's not Shoth, I promise.
Hey, Spagg. Hey, Spagg, don't lick this. I don't think you should lick this. Just saying, Spagg.
Absolutely thought that.
Definitely.
Everybody's got Shoth in this town. No.
Big jar.
I literally have Shoth on the brain. So kind of put it back down. Where'd that come from?
I get some interesting people come through this store. They
No. I'm less interested in who supplied it. I like to know what.
They say there's this tree in the Amazon that if you touch it, you'll be regretting it. I had some people come through after a wild adventure that they took down there with God knows how much money. And they brought this back. They were in a pinch, so they sold it to me. And I made that.
Oh, then. Damn.
So mechanically, if you take this, you can use a bonus action to add poison to. Do you do two-handed blade? Yeah, you can use a bonus action to apply this poison to both your blades. It deals an extra 1d6 poison damage with each strike, and you have 3 strikes with each blade before you have to apply.
Reapply. Okay. Well, that sounds mighty handy, and might come in handy. Yeah, I think we'll put this here on the side. I have a few other more common items that I'd like to get my hands on, if I may, as well, to up my order. If I could get, do you have any iron filings kicking around?
I'm sure I could find something. If not, I will go shave the iron myself.
I would appreciate that. Just a flask of lamp oil would be helpful. Some tacks or nails, a good hefty amount, a couple pounds would do me.
Yep.
A whetstone, a really high quality whetstone for my arrows, my blades, things like that. They get worn out, and I never know when I'm going to be in a shop like this where I can get things taken care of properly. That would be helpful to me as well.
She shines a bit when you say taken care of properly.
Some twine also. Nothing, this is going to sound odd, but nothing of terribly high quality. I need something a little looser, if you will. A light twine.
Yeah, all right. I can do those things for you.
And a really sturdy canister. Something that I can really lock down and, nothing inside will slosh out.
I think I can do you something like that. She takes about 15 minutes to gather all of these, and you hear her swearing in the back as you hear the scraping, and she's making the iron filings for you because she didn't have any, but she makes them for you right away. And she puts everything together, and that will probably run you about 750 gold pieces.
Well, I'll take out what I have. We're just finishing up a job. Would it be too much of me to ask to pay the balance of this at the completion?
I can vouch for him if necessary.
On your word, Dr. Clampton. Mm-hmm. She nods. She takes what you have and writes the rest of you as essentially as due on credit.
I appreciate it.
If it's worth anything to save my friends some cash, I'm also willing to trade techniques and secrets.
No, it's all right. Okay. I understand. The good Reverend is vouching for him. And speaking of Reverend, I was going through my husband's effects. It felt like it was time to clean them out. There was something he wrote that he wanted you to have, and it feels important. Now that you're here and back, I was worried I was never going to be able to give it to you. She disappears for a moment. She comes back. You see this beautiful wooden box. She opens it in front of you, and there is a rosary inside. It's for you. Can barely hear you, hon.
Thank you. This is beautiful. Can
Well,
you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Sorry, I was moved by the gesture.
Robert did not say much, but he appreciated your sermons. And you're a good man, Dr. Clampton, so it felt important.
Thank you for saying that.
Mechanically, Tim, this gives you 1 extra use of your channel divinity per day.
Okay.
Ooh, spicy.
After giving everything to everyone in the store, her eyes settle on you, Spagg. Now you look like a man who simultaneously has everything and nothing.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you before you finish that sentence. I have something on my person of indeterminate.
Such a good time. Such a good time for him to phrase.
Sorry,
I
say that
have
one.
something on my person of indeterminate value. The potential for this object is literally unquantifiable by me. I will trade it to you.
Well, show me it first. Show me it
Well, you
first.
show me what you're going to trade, and we'll do it at the same time.
Ma'am, if you don't mind, can you not give him anything he can like lick or suck on?
You can
Anything
lick or
that-
suck on anything. It's
man
not
has a
just
point.
what you can lick and suck
Well,
on. It's what you get when you do the
just
sucking
like
and the
the
licking.
poison jar, maybe not anything along that nature, because we need him. As strange as that is, we need him so
She
that
chuckles to herself as she walks in the back. You hear 3 sets of locks unlock.
Yeah, this is good.
Keys.
This is good.
I'm concerned. I just want to
That
say
sounded like a lock in a secret compartment inside said compartment.
She comes back out the front and she puts a very small vial on the counter.
Okay.
What do you
Perfect.
got?
I take out my jar of mystery powder.
Okay. Let me pull up my notes to see what those mystery powders were.
It was the brown small mystery powder that was under the counter at the Ambrosia. No one knows what it does.
I mean, I know.
Shrouded in mystery of indeterminate origin.
Let me see here. That was in the 3rd episode. Now you've got me digging through my notes.
It's gonna be old baking powder. It's just like rotten baking powder.
Okay.
Long dead yeast.
So you had 2 powders. There was a brown and a green. Which one do you
I'm
put on the
offering
counter?
the brown first. And if she
Okay.
plays hardball, we might interest her in the green.
She goes, may I
Do what?
open it?
Only if I can open yours.
She smiles. Yeah, all right.
Okay. at the
Don't
same-
take any, though.
Well,
You can
that
smell
depends
it.
what you do with yours.
I'm just going to smell it.
Okay, I'll smell yours. We're just
You-
smelling each other.
You
We're
smell
just
mine, I
2
smell
people
yours.
having a good sniff.
She opens it, and you get this whiff of, it's like it smells like mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Hers, the one that you've given to her, smells
Oh.
like mushrooms. And she gives it a sniff and kind of does a wafting.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, all right. And she closes it. You open yours and it smells like nothing.
Is there stuff in it?
Where'd you get, there is a liquid, a clear liquid. Where'd you get this? I won't tell. Proprietor secrets. I'm not going to judge.
Where'd you get this?
Well,
So
since I am a
cagey.
businesswoman, I will tell you where I got mine. And then you will tell me where you got yours.
Well, I'm a vagabond, so we'll see what your answer does, and then we'll see.
So I get, being the only real general store in town, we get a lot of people coming through here, traders, prospectors, business folk. I had some folks come in from the Northeast. A Dr. Hoffman and his associate, Mr. Leary. I have no idea what this does, but they said it was not for the faint of heart. And to pass it to someone worthy of the experience.
Exquisite.
It's just
I'll
LSD.
kick in my other mystery powder, and I'll throw on the green powder. And we'll call it a day.
She looks at the green one. She goes, "Sir, that's
Yep.
rat poison.
Yeah.
I don't need rat poison. Thank you."
Well then, just the brown powder then. Cheers, that's a deal.
Tim, are you just excellent at history? Because you.
She looks at the powder that you're giving her.
Mm-hmm.
And with just like the biggest shit-eating grin, she goes, "Yeah, all right. The only thing is,
Mm-hmm.
you got to come back and tell me what that thing does."
Well, we could do it right now together. I could put it into my mouth and baby bird it into yours. Not the whole
Oh my
thing, but just a
God.
bit.
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
respectfully, I decline.
Okay, is it like an after hours thing? Because you still got a whole day of work. Hey, we're doing a seance later if you want to come down this weird potion.
I am not. I just traded this potion for what I am pretty sure is powdered mushroom. So,
Sweet. We can mix them together.
do you take it? Like, this is me, Emma, asking. Like,
Right
do you
now,
take?
not without the lady's consent.
I mean, it's yours.
doing
You
it
can do
together.
whatever you want with it.
I'm saying we take your juice and my mushroom powder. We mix it together, shake it, down it, go to the seance together, find our own god.
If you are suggesting that I impose on Mrs. Capshaw to what she has obviously invited you for, respectfully, I did not get an invitation, so I am not going to impose myself.
You
into
can
her
take my
house.
spot. I don't want to be involved in a seance.
Neither
It's
do I.
called
Thank you very
a
much.
+1.
I do not wish to be involved in seances. Thank you.
That's fair.
Um,
That's fair.
Cass is a
Wanna
little
be-
disappointed because she thought Rebecca was cool.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Maybe
That is
post seance, little like.
I will say this
we can have a
woman's
debrief.
husband is not long dead. Like, I will just say she knows Tam. Like,
Oh, but
knew
he
Tam.
is dead.
Oh my.
Oh, Spagg, come on now. That ain't respectful. I'm so
Hey,
sorry for him.
Hey,
He licks a
hey.
lot of things, and I think it's done stuff to his brain.
I'm just saying, in my line of belief, death is simply the end.
Now, Spagg.
If you assume the story is about you, my friend.
Well, no, because we get to keep having the story because we're alive, and that's why we look. We enjoy the mushrooms.
Do you
Spagg,
do you
leave
go
it.
take your little liquid outside?
Not just now.
All
I'm
right.
waiting for the seance or some cool shit to do.
Oh
It's
shit.
fucking
Okay.
2 p.m. on a fucking Thursday. Come on.
So after you leave, Spagg,
Oh man,
she is putting the money in her till.
I'm real sorry about him. He's an eccentric fella. I think he's got hit in the head a couple times, and also licked some stuff that he shouldn't have.
If you knew she looks around, my business partners, anything else is better company. So
Well, if they are half bad, you say you run a tight ship here.
thank you. Now, you were speaking about people coming in here and buying things.
Yeah.
And, well, about 5 months ago, there were some rich folks who came in from the West Coast.
Oh, that makes sense.
Came in asking about what Galwood was doing in town here.
About his mind.
Yeah, I played dumb, and I heard them talking about how Mr. Foster would be pleased to hear that the hard work of charting the mines and the hills had already been done for him. They talked about that they needed to pay Sheriff Severin a visit to make sure that the negotiations were drawn up.
Severin?
Yes, sir.
Was Severin sheriff at the time?
Yes, sir.
So how long has Powell been out?
Sorry, no, he was not sheriff at the time. My apologies. No, on the timeline. Right? He would have been, no, he wasn't even in town at the time.
Okay.
But she's putting together that, no, Severin had not arrived in town at that point.
So
but they did.
They wanted to talk to Powell.
No, they said they needed to pay a visit to Mr. Severin. My apologies. I'm just calling him Sheriff now because that is his title.
I see.
But
They
the
wanted-
curious thing that they said was that they needed to be, the negotiations were drawn up and they were ready to be delivered on his bid for senatorship. And that Severin had played his part well, and that it would be good to have another senator in their pocket.
Oof. Strange question, I'm sure, but these gentlemen seem unusually flexible.
They were in suits that would not have them doing acrobatics, if that answers your question.
At any point, did any of them, like, absentmindedly crack their knuckles, crack their neck, anything like that? I know it's maybe a stretch of the memory, but...
Not to my recollection, but they did sit and drink whiskey with my business partners that was intended for sale. So I made myself scarce
Are
to
your business
avoid...
partners around? Could we talk to them?
No, they are out of town.
Okay.
But they have ears everywhere, so...
Perhaps we should pay another visit to the sheriff's office.
Oh, yeah, we didn't see Mr. Sheriff.
I want to talk to that boy. Make sure he's, I don't want him getting turned into goo.
It has been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your
She
your
reaches
business.
out to shake your hand. Wyatt,
I'll shake it.
you come back anytime. And you let me know how that thing works.
Her hand feel bony? Because Wyatt's shaking
It
hands.
does feel bony.
Yeah, Wyatt's shaking hands looking for bones.
And you would notice that she has what look to be like scars on her hands from years of like tinkering and tooling and some chemical burns as well.
It was a pleasure, ma'am. Thank you
That-
very much.
You are most
I'll
welcome.
let you know how, because you said this is be experimental.
It is, yeah. I'm looking to put a patent on it.
Hell, I'll let you know how it works.
Thank you. Mighty kind of you.
Because I do plan to do some shooting soon.
All right. So you head out of Duchesne, Dufresne, and DuPont. It is about, I would say, about 5. Yeah, I mean, at this point, you see her, she closes up shop behind you. It is about 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening at this point. Sun is going
Miss
down.
our appointment.
Seance.
Seance!
Do you head on over?
Reverend, are you attending this seance?
Yes, I believe I am.
Okay, well, I mean, if you're not gonna miss it, I guess I can't. I'll go. Your presence should seal me from any possession and demons, correct?
Yes, of course.
Excellent, excellent.
Wyatt, we've been traveling together for years. You know that won't happen.
I don't know. I haven't been to a seance before. I heard what they do. They summon spirits of the dead. That sounds like devil shit to me.
I just roll my eyes and stop talking to Wyatt.
Come on now. We have been traveling for a long time. You gotta know I'm a superstitious man. The first thing I said when all this shit went down, I said demons. This is all demons. And was I wrong? No, because I watched God excise a fucking metal ball out of the Reverend over here. That was some shit to wake up my day. Excuse my language, Reverend. I apologize.
It's all right.
I just think you should know that seances aren't only of demons, and
This is true.
I thought I had gotten at 30 by now, but
You've gone to 30 seances.
I don't know where that came from.
Oh,
no,
sorry.
I think Becca said I'd hoped I'd gotten through to you, and it
Oh.
did sound like I had gone to 30 something.
That's a lot of seances.
That's a lot of
That's,
seances.
That's a few punch cards. You get a free skull with every 6.
Absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
okay. No, listen, you're not wrong, Hass. It's spooky, is all.
Well,
It's
tell
just
you
like
what,
when people give me a doll, I'm like, I don't want that doll because that doll's almost definitely haunted.
who's
I don't want it.
offering a grown ass man a spooky doll?
Yo, people be carrying dolls around. They
So you're-
crazy.
You're having this
Are these
conversation.
children?
A lot
No.
of people find you
Should not.
attractive. You don't need to pretend to be dumber than you are, is all I'm saying.
Listen, I ain't
Should
dumb.
not
I make
take
my
that.
own
That's
guns.
very
I'm smart as
kind of
hell.
you, Hass. Thank you.
So you're having this conversation as you walk through the kind of the simple housing for the miners, and it is quite jovial. There are people eating out on their porches, drinking some sort of alcohol, you assume, or coffee, or whatever. There's older children
Late
playing in the
coffee.
There's people who work the night shift here. There's
Sorry,
people. Go ahead.
Capshaw
Yes.
lived near Bainbridge, correct?
Lived across the way and down the street. Yes.
Okay. I think, despite, listen, seances aren't evil. I'll give you that, Hass. This is gonna help us, I'm sure. I'm gonna go make sure a man doesn't do something fundamentally stupid, like blow his own legs off, because it happens when you're playing with dynamite. You lose your hands. I'm gonna
You
see
don't want to come to the seance? You wanna split our theoretical party?
Not really, but
Yeah.
I do want to see Bainbridge.
We'll go to the Bainbridge. First the seance, then we make sure that Mr. Dynamite doesn't blow his legs off.
Let's go talk to ghosts, I guess.
Fuck yeah.
That is more accurate.
And ghosts are demons, I thought. That's what I thought.
So you
That's what
head
I was
up
raised
to
believe.
you head up to Geraldine Capshaw's residence, and she is waiting for you on the porch.
Ma'am.
It's wonderful to see all of you. Welcome back. I'm ready for you. Please come in.
1 second. I'm just gonna take out my special seashell. I've been to a couple seances, gone south. You just want to firm. Who else wants the ship tightened up? Marv?
Yes, please.
Yeah, this guy likes his bones. Who else likes their bones? Anybody else want the bones shored up? Wyatt, you
Respect.
seemed concerned.
Yeah, sure. I'll take a huff of your weird shell smoke.
That's right. First one's free. Intellect Fortress on the three of us.
Yeah, no. Whew. I do feel very surly.
I'm going to take out the chocolate for Geraldine.
She takes it from you, smells it.
Rebecca must have gotten a new shipment in. Thank you, Hass.
Madam Capshaw,
Yes.
you haven't happened to see Mr. Bainbridge kind of out and about, maybe in a bit of
No.
a tizzy?
No, I have not. Unfortunately,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I have
No,
been
it's
inside
fine.
preparing.
Yeah, no, I understand.
As you walk into her abode, her house, there are candles everywhere. There is it's interesting. There is two lines crossed together with a circular pattern on the table. Very similar to what you saw in Dahlia's room, the above and below. None of the symbology around it, however. And that's what's on the table in front of you. There are some herbs. There seem to be some totems and stuff around sitting on the table.
I had forgotten that, Erik.
She is blind. Yes, she is blind. She has not seen Bainbridge. She is blind.
I'm sorry.
You do know she has quite high acuity hearing.
Yes.
So when she
Oh,
responded to you, she was going from that.
Just getting a little message being
funny.
like, she ain't seen shit, dude.
She hasn't seen shit. She's blind.
Oh,
But yes, there is a very similar circular pattern on the table.
We
have we
Sit-
bone
Is
checked? Have we bone checked Capshaw?
Yeah, we bone checked her yesterday or the day before.
did.
Can I make a bone check?
Did we? 'Cause I
There's
Roll
two
for-
different there's two different
roll
types
them
of bone
bones.
checks.
Oh, we have
So
an incoming raid.
amazing.
Oh, exciting!
Welcome to the seance.
I'm gonna offer my hand and like put my hand on her back to like help her sit down because she's an older lady, right?
She is, yes.
Yeah. And then just like with her hand in my hand, I'm just gonna like feel them hand bones.
She has hand.
Cool.
bones.
She's got
Stop
bones.
flirting with the elderly. That move, fucking. Oh, here, let me sit you down, and then like firmly squeezing the hand. That's so flirty, Wyatt.
that is really
That's
So
really
as
flirty.
you all sit at the
It's,
table, she bids you to hold.
Please, for
Nat 20
I
Productions,
understand.
thank you for the raid.
Thank you so much, Natural 20 Productions. Thank you. Oh, that's so kind of you. Horse girl magic. We are in the
I
west,
love
so
this raid so far.
horse girl magic would do helpful out
Strong
here.
raid.
It's a strong raid in the west. Strong raid.
Girl magic.
Everybody
Best
knows
raid message.
everybody knows a horse girl. So you sit around this table, and she sits at one of the points, and she sits you across from her. She sits Marv at the other point and Spagg at the other. And Wyatt and Dr. Clampton sit around the table as well. Now, I recognize that you have done something to fortify yourself, and that is fine. However, I will need you to be willing to engage in this experience. Whether you open up yourself or not is your choice.
Mm-hmm.
But you must be willing to engage in this experience. It does not work. I cannot become a conduit if there are people here who do not wish to be here.
That's exactly it, man. We just want to make sure that everyone has the acuity to agree to do things, and that no one gets too lost in the moment so as to lose themselves beyond refinding it.
Understandable.
What
Yes.
if
I think before we begin, forgive me, if you could explain what the bullseyes do and what they signify. We've seen these before, and some people in my group, given how we've seen them before, might be suspicious of these symbols.
Yes. Apologies. I should have explained this. This is a symbol that amplifies energies that are around. It could promote the presence of those that we wish to contact. It could seek to amplify the energy of something that stands within them. Where did you see this?
On the floor and ceiling in Dahlia's bedroom at the Ambrosia. She's known to have fraternized with the Shoth.
Interesting. Perhaps.
Spagg got more intimately connected with it, though.
What was your experience?
Well, when you lick it, if you got the right one, you do create a direct psychic link to the Shoth itself. It's quite accommodating, actually. It pitched me all kinds of powers and told me I could keep my bones, which we take as a sign of good faith.
Well, perhaps if you were bid to be gifted power and keep your bones, you said no, but perhaps someone else who stood there said yes.
Ah, very good.
man, what if someone wants to be open but subconsciously can't be? Will that like mess up your ritual? Because I don't want to be the reason.
Desire is a very powerful tool, Mr. Cassidy.
Do you think it's best that maybe I stand outside and watch the door?
I wish you here, if you wish to be here, for this with your compatriots.
Like, I want to be here, but I don't. You know, like it's a complicated and mixed feeling. I want to be here, support my friends, support my good friend Hass, who apparently very much likes. Has gone to 30 of these seances.
It is why I did not sit you on a ley line.
Oh,
Mr.
cool. So I'm not going to be affecting things too much.
It is also why I did not sit Dr. Clampton on a ley line. With all due respect, Dr. Clampton.
Great. Okay, so I'm not gonna be throwing a wrench into the works here.
I certainly hope not.
Well, I'm gonna try to want to be here, but I'm just saying.
I appreciate.
This is spooky. I find it very spooky. I'm just saying. No offense
spooky.
or anything. Yeah. Okay. At least you can see it. It's very spooky.
I don't believe you have anything to be afraid of. I believe we are in good hands.
Thank you, Dr. Clampton. Now, speaking of hands.
Yeah.
Whoever gets Wyatt's hands, they are so
They're
sweaty.
clammy.
They're so
sweaty.
clammy. Like he's so uncomfortable
Make a
right
sweaty
now.
check. No, I'm just kidding. She looks
Slip
at you
out and
all.
hit a jar.
It's a 3. I rolled a natural
You're
3,
so
which is a
sweaty.
critical misfire of sweat.
Your gun goes off, shoots you in the foot.
As you touch each other and you hold each other's hands, the candle that sits in the center of the table, the flame grows for a moment. And she looks around to all of you. Who do you wish to contact? This Shoth or someone else?
Oh shit, we didn't really think about that, did we?
Can we contact one of The
AF.
miners?
JF.
Oh.
JF. Joseph Foster.
Mm.
His name has come up a few times. Once in connection with the skeleton affair. And I do have an object of that, if that would help you in any, and amongst some papers that we were reviewing earlier today.
To my knowledge, sir, he is very much alive. Mr. Foster is very much alive.
Right, so we can't. I was going to say Mesa, but we can't contact people who are still alive.
We must speak to a spirit, an entity, a being that perhaps moves between worlds or separately from those that are enclosed in the bodies they carry.
What if they were one thing and now they're a different thing? Maybe that's killed the person that they were and their spirit's around?
Who are you
Mesa.
inquiring? If I'm assuming you would have filled her in on all of the other stuff.
Because like she got the like full,
she's on the level.
Yeah. Cool.
If what you are saying has merit, he still inhabits the body. His spirit may, though suppressed, may not be separated yet, and that is what we need. If you wish, I am willing to try to contact the Shoth. If you wish, I am not afraid.
I sure am.
It is a different experience.
That comment, just saying I am not afraid, specifically, just kind of twigs Marv a little bit, thinking that what he's heard of "be not afraid," and
you can roll an insight check on her if you want.
Come on, Marv.
I'm just putting it to. I'm gonna roll this insight check, but I'm just putting it together with the comments to me specifically about having a purpose, and I am sitting in a very specific spot with a very specific person that just said a very specific thing.
I love how much fear I've instilled in all of you. This is wonderful.
Yes. I rolled a natural 1.
Oh no!
She seems. I will say, even with your worry and your uncertainty completely clouding that ability you have, Marv, to read people, there does not seem to be any divisiveness. There is no falsehood here. Just she reads exactly the same as you did last time you saw her. And you rolled an insight check last time you saw her.
Yep.
And she reads exactly the same.
Okay.
I think I have a suggestion.
An audibly deep breath, which is kind of out of character. And it kind of has that little bit of a hitch to it. Like he settles back into his chair.
I am reticent to contact the Shoth in any way. But I do have a suggestion that might give us some answers to some questions that we have lingering.
Who do you wish?
Mr. Zanziva.
Ah.
That is what I was thinking. There's the only dead person we need to know is how he got that precious rock.
And how he died, because it could be related.
Although, I feel like if anyone here could tussle with the Shoth, it would be our lovely guide here.
That's kind of you, Spagg. Thank you.
I will say, too, if we're talking about ley lines and affecting the ritual and stuff, y'all have had your inner encounters with the Shoth, correct?
Yes, I believe that's why we're on the ley line, due to our connection to it.
Oh, okay. I was just worried that might weaken things and make it easier for the Shoth to come and party.
I think our guide here has a pretty firm grasp of how to do a seance.
Okay, I wasn't trying to mansplain how a seance works.
It's rarely intentional.
I was scared. I'm just scared is all.
I can understand your concern, Mr. Cassidy, and you are correct, Spagg. I have placed you on the ley lines because of your connection. I don't seek to have whatever we contact invade your mind further, and you have taken moment to prevent that. Am I correct? If what
Like
I
a trap.
smelled on your on my patio.
No, it's oregano, I swear. No, yeah.
Mm.
No, we're ready to go. I think if ever there was a time to look the demon in the eye, now is the time.
Is that what Intellect Fortress is? Is it just weed and it makes you a
weed.
little too, it just makes you a little too
Weed.
like wispy to be able to like
Oh.
lock things in?
You've said it, and now it exists.
What?
Okay.
It's a real paranoid high.
Yeah.
But like,
Mind gel.
Mind gel.
Spag's just sitting there eating chips. So hungry.
no, it's not a fun body high. It's
You-
a
you
really
don't-
shitty, paranoid, anxious high.
You didn't take the substance, right?
No, not yet.
Okay.
We're waiting for a
Shit.
very special moment.
Wonderful. I will also preface too that upon purchasing it, Rebecca would have given you an instruction, 1 drop at a time.
Unlikely to happen. We'll see.
She would have given you instruction
Oh,
1 drop
hog.
at a time.
Fucking Spagg is
I prefer to
instantly
think
gonna
she didn't
OD.
give it to him.
Yeah.
So she holds your hands, and so she looks at you all once more. The Shoth.
The shot.
Oh, some not Mr.
Oh.
Zanzibar.
No, I
Right.
think let's dive in. Let's dive in.
Okay.
Get right
He'll
to
give
it.
us information about the shot. Let's knock on the shot's door. We're grasping at straws. Let's grasp at goo.
You all take a moment, and you hear her instruct you to quiet your mind, walking you through Spagg, you would be familiar with this, and Hass also too, a sense of walking you into a state of hypnosis, following her voice to calm your mind and calm your bodies, to allow whatever will join you at this table this evening. You wait. She invites presence of the Shoth into the room to speak its truth. You wait, and you wait. And then you hear it. I will tell you a story.
Oh my god. Okay.
Locked deep within the mountain, lying in wait, unearthed through the greed of men that brought urgency of life to where there was previously only patience. We were examined, and we were curious. So we made likeness and traveled peacefully as companions. You see then an image in your mind as it's talking. You see the rock, the same one that you saw in Foster's, the diagram from the Foster brothers, the schematics, the 2 pieces touching, whole. You see it taken out of the ground by miners, taken on a cart, brought back down to Clementine, and loaded on a long journey. You see a night time where this giant rock is kept under a sheet. 2 people carrying the cart. In the night, you watch as both of the people sleeping, their eyes open, glowing a blue-green, as they walk over to the large hunk of rock and place their hands on it. You see the rock shrink. And the people examine their bodies. They do this for hours. Examining they strip their clothes off. They are like completely engulfed in this form. The rock now smaller, still 2 halves. but shrunk from the size of like 3 feet in diameter to now about the size of a grapefruit. We traveled peacefully as companions, but we could not exist in this state for long. Long periods of rest between to ponder, to think. We desired coexistence, but were shown the brutalities of man. We changed hands again and again, changing forms again and again through profit and force, until we learned that we must adapt. You watch through this as the rock changes hands again and again, whether through sale or theft, over and over and over again, until there is a police raid of some sort. You see the rock taken into an evidence locker.
Severn.
You see the Dupree brothers walk into the room, their eyes alight. They touch the rock. It shrinks and disappears. The two look at each other. A smile, identical between the two of them. And then we came home. We all come home, eventually. We wished to bring our family home and create anew. We offered peace, calmness, an end to the brutalities of your kind, so that all may be one with the zolv. You see a vision. And Tam, it strikes you right away. It is the same place you saw in your dream. Pits of ooze dot the horizon for miles and miles aground. A darkened sky full of stars with pieces of lunarium crashing into the surface. The pieces of lunarium hit, first coalesce into that puddle, and then grow into those tentacled creatures that you fought in the pit. And over time, we see a fast forwarding as those become the hooded figure you saw underground, and then grow larger into a multi-globed creature that move freely about this planet. They circle, they chant, louder and louder, as a ball of dark energy glows and rises from a large pit of zolv. It twists and contorts as the chanting soars to a climax. A beam of light flashes down from the sky as we see the ball of energy glow into this enormous vessel. You saw this in Mesa's book, covered in metal plates that seem to be excreting the slime it's covered in. In the center of the ship is a massive red-orange orb surrounded by blue, green, silver ooze. The orb is almost eye-like, searching and looking around. The figures below fall prostrate before it. This avatar of the Shoth, a pinnacle being amongst this species. The ship lands and you watch it. You watch these creatures around you worshiping it. You look at them. And you regard its form. You see one of them regard you back. And each of you experience it lunge at your face as you snap out of this reverie, and you see Geraldine throw her head back She is screaming at this point, and you realize that the sound that you have been hearing, this voice, has been coming from her mouth. You watch this fight play out in front of you as Geraldine wrestles with this entity that seems to be threatening to overthrow her being. A fight happening within the mind of Geraldine Capshaw. You see her face contort. You see two beings. It's boggling. It is her face, but both a face similar to that of the creatures you fought coming out of the pit. The burbling is almost deafening as she seems to hold power for at least one moment. She breaks hands with the person sitting next to her, and she grabs under the table, and you watch as she brings a knife up from under the table. And she drags it across her throat. She's bleeding out in front of you. What do you do?
Stop the bleeding.
Okay. How would you like to do that?
I would, this would be probably a medicine. And I would be, I would immediately kind of jump into prayer as I kind of lay my hands on her throat, trying to close the wound.
I would be on my feet.
I'd like to cast Cure Wounds if I can.
I would be on my feet, gun pointed at Capshaw.
Okay.
Reverend, I think
wait a second.
I think she made a choice, like you made a choice. If things
Tam,
went wrong
I'm going to
for
have you roll a religion check for me, please.
I'm going to grab any herbs from her that I see that I have maybe used in a seance before to help the person regain their selves. So if the bleeding stops, she still has the tools to stay herself.
Yeah, you would have seen some smelling salts on the counter. I'll allow you to grab those.
23.
23. Can you roll a dexterity check for me, Hass, to see how fast you can grab those? Spagg, Marv, is there anything you'd like to do in this instant?
22.
Wyatt,
thank you.
All right, when Wyatt steps up and points his gun and starts to kind of interrupt Tam, I will place myself in front of his pistol, very close. So barrel to my body, wherever that happens to be from the angle of his arm.
Okay.
And I'll just kind of quietly, like, hands are at my side. I'm not going for weapons or anything. I'm just putting myself in front of his gun so that Tam can work.
I wasn't trying to interrupt anything. I'm just saying, like, you also made that choice. You said things go wrong, put a bullet through me. She made a choice. I just want to take the precaution that if her choice is interrupted and she loses control, we can.
Spagg, is there? Sorry, I'm finished. Go ahead.
No. Seeing that Hass and Mr. Clampton, Reverend Clampton, are taking care of the medical stuff, Spagg is just going to really watch just this. Does it look as though there is a physical, like there isn't like literal physical goo on her? There is.
No.
Okay.
It is as if her spirit is fighting the spirit of whatever you invited to the table.
He is going to let Mr. Reverend Clampton apply the medical procedures and just start rifling through his pockets, not taking eyes off of her, just getting some stuff ready. But we're going to see how the medicine happens.
So that was a 23 on your... Okay. So as your hands move to her throat to try and cast Cure Wounds, but to apply this healing, and as you move the smelling salts under her, she manages, you see a flash of her come to her eyes as the burbling sound that was echoing throughout the room, coming through her scream, turns to a full scream as a blue-green light emits out of her mouth onto the center of the table. As she bleeds and as you heal her, Tam, the light coalesces into a small rock on the table in front of her, about the size of a fist. And you do, with your medicine, you can roll healing.
7 points of healing.
Under your hand, you feel the wound close slightly. The bleeding stops.
Yeah.
The bleeding stops. As she comes to.
I have one of those tonics with me that I
You
bought?
do. You have both of the tonics with you.
Cocaine?
yes.
You have the cocaine?
I would like. Can I move to lay her down or kind of sit her in a recovery
Yes.
kind of position?
She's
kind of
she's
move her away
aware
from the
at this
table.
point.
You just take a seat and drink this. Easy now, and I would give her one of
Okay.
the health tonics.
Bigger
Miss-
one or the smaller one?
Miss
Probably the bigger one at this point.
Miss Capshaw, did you drag the knife across your throat, or did it?
As she takes the tonic and you see she
Cocaine.
liquid cocaine. She seems to come to her senses as she finds her words. No, Mr. Cassidy, I did that myself.
That's what I thought.
I had to get it out.
Well, you succeeded.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't be.
It's all right. I had to do the same thing, and just the other night.
You wouldn't have been offended if I'd shot you if things had gone the other way, right?
No.
Great.
What is this? Says Spagg, pointing at the stone that's just materialized on the table.
Oh, that's what
Look.
came out of Tam.
It looks identical to the one that
Super tiny?
Like I said, it's their corpses.
it's about the size of a rock.
So this one's big, though.
Big.
That's
And it's the same rock that is around Marv's neck. It is all the same rock. Everything you saw in the vision, all of the rock is the same. The rock you saw that was the two halves that went into the Dupree brothers, it is all the same. This lunarium. So-called.
I think this melts down, becomes the zolv, maybe? I don't know.
I think we ought to pay the sheriff a visit. See if we can track down those brothers.
It's probably about 9 o'clock at night at this point.
Do we think Severin might be one of them, or just being misled by the Duprees?
Everyone was clearly placed here by those Westerners on purpose.
True, but I don't know if he's a person who's been placed here or if he's one of them.
I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here, the creatures want to be together, correct? Like, what they came here, they were separated, and now they want to reunite and return to their vessel that exists outside of the planet. Is that what you all took away from this?
I took away that they, want to help humanity be more peaceful, and to do that in a less than peaceful manner.
I'm sure if they are desiring to return to their home planet, or if they were brought here and intend to stay. It was unclear to me.
They did refer to this town as their home.
Yeah, I got the impression that Clementine was their home.
Mountains thereof.
They want to make us more like them, right? They're confident they have the right idea, and they want us to see to their way of thinking, and they're willing to
Melt our bones to get it.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about peace, but that wasn't peaceful. Point to Capshaw.
I chose the violence,
I mean,
Mr. Cassidy.
you chose the violence, but it didn't go, oh, well, if you don't want me here, I'll leave. Like, it tried to, from what I saw, it tried to take you over forcibly. You just tried to force it out. But, like, if someone tries to come in my house and I say, no, please leave, and then they continue to come into my house, they are being forceful. If I push them out the door and they push me back, they're being forceful. I don't like... That wasn't peaceful, what I watched.
I'm afraid I don't have answers for you, Mr. Cassidy.
No, I know. I'm just saying they didn't just leave. They tried to get in and stay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sounds like it is time to see those sheriffs.
Well, the deputies and the sheriff. But
Sheriff, yes.
If you don't mind, I'm going to get some rest.
That's a good idea.
Thank you for saving me.
No, of course.
I would like to quietly go over to where Geraldine is
Mhm.
seated or laying or whatever, and kind of come down to her level. Would you like to keep that stone as a trophy of your kill?
No, take it. I will not
Thank
have that in my house.
Geraldine, would you like if one of us stayed here tonight?
I will be fine. You have much bigger things in front of you.
Can y'all give me like 5 minutes? I just want to check on Bainbridge.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna jog down the street, knock on the door.
As you walk outside, the street is very different from when you left it. Quiet. Oh,
Ooh.
lost you, Tim.
Yeah, I saw that. There we go. I don't know what happened.
Hmm.
Go back, baby.
It's very odd considering how lively it was not maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. You'd seen folks out on porches, kids playing. It was a beautiful night with a warm breeze. But that's not what awaits you. It is as if the temperature has dropped too much beyond the normal evening dip. There's a chill in the air. The moon is bright and full, almost. Perhaps the following evening. It illuminates the street. Oh, it's too fucking quiet. It doesn't feel right.
So
as you
there's
walk off-
nobody out despite all of that screaming.
Nobody.
I reckon it might be time
I
to
will definitely
unsheath those
notice
knives.
that.
And as you walk off the porch, you see a figure walk out from the top of the row of houses about 90 feet from you, and another come out behind. As you make it down the porch to the center of the street, you look up and you see Dahlia, looking almost translucent in the moonlight, with a slight blue-green glow emanating off her skin. Mesa stands behind her, a whole foot taller than her, their eyes trained on you all. Dahlia's voice rings out across the nothing. She clocks you, Tam. It's good to see you, Dr. Clampton. Sad to hear that Calloway and Jetson had to get rid of you. Shame, though. Didn't finish the job. And while the Shoth may play at peace, I play by my own rules. You watch as she pulls out something from her pocket and she throws it down on the ground. Mesa's eyes alight as he begins chanting. In an instant, 4 of those 3-armed creatures pop off the ground. They run towards you. And that is where we are going to end it tonight.
Wow.
Damn, y'all.
As
First
soon
thing
as the
you do
hand
next
goes
time.
up, Wyatt's gun is out. Like,
I know,
Like
we
as
will-
soon as
He's gonna tap the ground and go, "You called down the thunder."
We are going to
Nope.
roll initiative next time.
Dahlia, what is your skincare regime? Because you are
Glowing.
Radiant.
literally glowing.
Literally glowing. Thank you all so much
Thank you,
for
everyone, yeah.
hanging out here in the West. Oh my gosh, all 62 of
We
you.
almost hit 100 people today.
Holy bananas.
Yeah,
What an
Joe.
absolute
Spending
treat.
my birthday with me.
Yeah, happy birthday, Becca.
Happy birthday, Becca.
If you liked what you see, make sure to come around on Saturday at 8 p.m.
Yes.
Pacific Standard Time, where we play our main campaign with
Yes,
a
yes,
wonderful
yes.
guest,
Jeremy
Jeremy Cobb.
It's pretty rad.
Please come hang out with us tomorrow over on the twitch.tv/a filthy lot, where Tim and I will be chatting all things Blackwater over there and talking about this wonderful campaign that we do and all of the other ones. Join us in our Discord, follow us on YouTube, all of those good things.
And a month from now, we'll be completing this crazy story.
Yes. Oh my gosh, the
Oh.
Lord Baron, thank you so much for the raid. Just as we were ending, we are going to
Just as
raid.
we're ending,
Also,
we are gonna raid.
we're going to raid someone else. But I just want to say a big thank you to all of my wonderful players for joining me on this beautiful tentacled adventure out in the desert. I hope you're all happy with those new items that you have. It's very fun. And Becca, you got the stats for your
Yes.
hammer. For the folks at home, I will read off what those stats are. It is called the anti-avatar hammer, which should make sense now.
It is a +2 hammer. It deals 2d8 bludgeoning plus 1d4 psychic +2, of course, which is damage to regular targets. And it deals 2d8 bludgeoning to all far touched, pardon me, or Shoth entities, and it forces them to make a wisdom save. On a failure, adds 1d12 psychic damage to them. So this is exciting. We're gonna go raid a wonderful group at Paul Dances. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Ada?
Paul Dances. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, cool. So we're gonna go raid these wonderful folks called Paul Dances. Tell them you can. I don't know what a raid message could be, but it could just be like greetings
Lose
from the
your
weird.
bones.
Lose your bones. Yeah, that's your
We're
our
here
raid
to
message.
yee some haws.
Let's yee some haws and lose some. Here, I'll put a raid message in the chat.
Y'all got bone with like 6 O's.
Just super
Y'all got
creepy.
bones. We're so grateful to you all. Thank you so much. And as we say goodnight on this show, we bid everyone a wonderful rest of the week, and lose your bones, everyone.
Lose your
Stick around. I'm just gonna
bones.
take us over to the raid right now. Oh my gosh, here we go. Well, it's gonna just be a second.